We're going to be talking about some rather serious and interesting information, although hopefully it'll be nothing that'll cause you too much consternation. What sort of sparked this particular line of study is, I don't know how many of you were aware of the gentleman from Indiana who came out and brought codicil and language to our attention, that the word label as used on the 1040 form means a testamentary instrument. I was part of the people that brought that lecture forward, and well, I gave Bunny the information, and because we thought it was interesting to look at it in the language at the time the Constitution was written. My personal study was, what is the Constitution in its noun form? Not what does it do, what is the thing? Of course, we've read Lysander Spooner and all the libertarian stuff that's come forward on it being a contract. But after talking to Bunny, I looked up in Amjur and I found, I think it's under Wills, section 12, if memory serves, that the sovereign has no testamentary power at common law. So that means that the Constitution could not be a will, according to the law at the time. And Bunny called me back, about 2 days later, and she said, Stan, guess what? Property can only devolve to a body politic by trust. So...
And that alone should make you say, wow, property can be only derived to a body of politic by way of trust. Remember, Congress at the time is trying to take the trust, as we said, from the heirs as the beneficiaries of the trust. They want to totally remove you at the time from the homeland, send your ass to Africa, and totally remove you from the homeland. So I'm going to stop that right there because Taj might want to call in. See, I always give my people time before the show to call it in. And Taj has sent me, Taj, are you in the building? There he is. I see you in the building. He sent me some important information. Now, I'm going to allow this interjection before I get these trust videos going throughout the week so you can get a better understanding of what we're talking about here. But Taj has found something very peculiar on what is this here? The first military free labor bank, and who that was that established this and what that has to do with the conversation at hand. Only Taj would know. So it'd be a blessing if Taj can call it in. And Taj, you're on the air. What up, brother? Wait a minute. What up, champ?
Man, I've been sitting back. I've been, doing a little bit of research for the origins of the banks. And one of the things I've been getting into was like the panics and things like that
yes.
led into recessions, depressions, and stuff like that.
Yes.
But just to stay focused on what I just sent you, they had something.
That's important because we studied this individual for quite some time, and it makes you're about to make so much sense to the people who still look for that type of information. Go ahead, champ.
Trust indeed. So they had something. Let me pull it up real quick. All right. So the predecessor of the Freedmen's Bank was something called the Free Labor Bank in 1864.
Okay. So this precedes me before the Freedmen Bank, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, that makes sense.
I got a small passage.
Thank you. I'm just trying to make sense for the classroom so they can get a clear perspective. Go ahead.
Trust indeed. All right, so it says the first military bank, the Free Labor Bank, was established by General MP Banks, and I did the research on, well, just dug into that a little bit more. That's Nathaniel P. Banks in New Orleans.
That's Nathaniel P. Banks.
Nathaniel P. Banks. If you look up a picture of Nathaniel P. Banks in Google right now, you see exactly who that is. Like,
right. We brought up Nathaniel P. Banks as one of the characters that robbed us, correct? That robbed America, right?
True robber baron.
A true robber baron.
Party and all of that.
This is what I'm trying to. This is why I stopped the video at the right time, because I said, "Oh, this is great." I seen you posted it in the Patreon. You sent it to me on Patreon, which is the exact place I need my people at, on Patreon. That's gonna be giving this information, because I got to sort through it. So why not give it to me where people support, which is right there. So I thank you for that. I'm gonna look up Nathaniel P. Banks for the classroom so the people can see who this who this character.
Yeah.
Yo, Nathaniel,
you be so on point like that. All right, let me if I can, I'd love to read the rest of this thing. It's a small passage.
Go ahead.
Small passage. It said the Civil War offered 180,000 African Americans an opportunity to serve their country and make a steady wage. It was an opportune time for learning thrift and economy. Thus, the first military bank, the Free Labor Bank, was organized to provide
the Free
financial services.
Labor Bank. Now let's get this straight.
Ain't that something?
The Free Labor Bank, family. And now the people put their money inside the Freeman Bank after the Civil War. But they telling you Nathaniel has this bank military called what? The Free what? I mean, the Free Labor Bank.
The Free Labor Bank. We in the Gilded Age. Remember, we in the Gilded Age.
Go ahead.
All right. So, financial services to African American soldiers, freedmen who own land, and freedmen who worked on government seized plantations. 2 other sites were opened in South Carolina and Virginia, where a large number of African American soldiers were stationed. The soldiers deposited a portion of their pay, which was saved for a relative or a soldier's use at a future date. Sad to say, many of the soldiers did not understand how banks worked. And they left nearly 200,000 unclaimed in the bank at the end of the war. The government would use these funds as seed money for the Freedmen's Savings and Trust Company. I was like, whoa.
Now, I want the audience to understand what we're saying here. Who is Nathaniel P. Banks to do this?
Nathaniel P. Banks was a general, but how you brought my eyes to see Nathaniel P. Banks, and I agree 100%, is J.P. Morgan Chase, the financier.
J.P. Morgan is Nathaniel P. Banks, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me bring up J.P. Morgan's picture, as we did many times before, to bring up how important it is to who robbed us. Kev, Mr. Gillespie, and his team has found the characters within characters that disguised themselves as bankers, but was nothing more than robbers of the bank. J.P. Morgan himself got his whole break off of robbing black people. Chase Bank, J.P. Morgan is a culprit in the robbery and genocide of African Americans. Go ahead, champ.
That's right. And yeah, my mind kind of been here, there, and everywhere, but I got stuck right at the end of the Freedmen's Bank. And you remember at at the 1974ish when they started having the issues with the freedmen banks. That's right around the time. I don't know if you remember. It's a character again, but you remember Jubilee Jim?
Do I remember who?
Well, it's a guy named Jubilee Jim. Jim Fisk. He was like what's the guy who funds Antifa? George Soros.
I don't know. See, this the problem right there. You about to go? What the fuck did what? See,
no, Kev.
Huh?
I'm about to stick there.
No, what I'm saying
is,
didn't we? Hold up. I know you about to say something real smart that's related. What else was this nigga up to at the time? Didn't he run a hospital or an asylum or something? Or am I bugging?
Yeah, in New York, right? Roosevelt Island. Was that time?
Yeah.
Wow. Damn.
Ain't that who was that? You just what's his name? What's his name you just brought up?
Jubilee Jim.
No, nigga, the white boy that's on my
Nathaniel
screen.
P. Banks.
Nathaniel P. Banks.
Yeah. So he was putting the people, and that makes
Can
sense.
Nathaniel B. Banks also be Mr. Cooks of the Freedman Bank that robbed him, that was spending all the money?
Yeah.
That gave all the money to his friends and family?
Same actions, indeed. The same actions. And that could be like,
wasn't J.P. Morgan a cheater, and didn't he fraudulently authorize a bunch of signatures we learned about? Wasn't he?
He was a forger.
He was a forger.
He was in the forgery.
Bingo.
Yeah. So this makes plenty of sense. As he got all the deposits, because he was a forger,
he can simulate the signatures.
Indeed. Okay, and he could transfer properties.
That's why they tried to place his ass over that bank. He can do what?
So he
can transfer property,
and
bro.
Stuff like that. Wow. Yeah.
They just clicked. That's why I had to stop you before I lost my thought. It's J.P. Morgan and Chase Bank. Who did Grover Cleveland give all of Gillespie's gold to?
J.P. Morgan.
J.P. Morgan, bro.
Panic in '93, yes, sir.
Come on.
It was all at the Panic, yes, sir. The J.P. Morgan and the Syndicate.
We got.
I remember that.
We stay right there. We stay right there, Taj. Bro, we got their ass, bro. That all them characters, bro. They were switching identities and characters, coming up with different plots. Oh, Mr. Cook, Mr. This. But see, we followed the gold and we followed the money. We followed the yellow brick road that led to Gillespie. Now we know it was Cook and it was Mr. What's his name?
Nathaniel P. Banks.
That's right. Which is also J.P. Morgan, bro.
Yes, sir. Indeed. It's clear.
J.P. Morgan robbed black people to start the bank system in America, bro. And they stole the gold from King George, a.k.a. George Washington, bro. The first pioneer of America, and the Nazis took over America. This is that shit. America sit back and say the bankers did this, the bankers did that. America was founded on that which you know as the Illuminati. J.P. Morgan, fucking Rothschild. What's his name? What'd they say? No, this shit here, bro.
Dude.
The banking system. and them masquerading as different characters to steal the will and the land from the beneficiaries of the will.
And transferring it over into the other character and
That's
stuff like
which
that.
which is them in the
That's the
minor
part.
estate, which they what the man just say. Property can only be transferred to a body of politic by way of what?
It gotta devolve to the heirs.
No, from the trust.
Oh,
They can only take it. A body of politic, which is Congress, can only take the property by way of trust, opening up a minor estate by
got
damn, bro.
you. Mm,
And
and they
slush
they
funding the
siphoning it
money
through
from
there.
the heirs
Yeah.
to them, to the
Or-
bankers, which is all 50 nations, all the bankers and tycoons of that corporate system.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, bro. Uh, it's wild. That's wild, bro.
So Nathaniel P. Banks is the what? The predecessor to the Freedman Bank, which are both characters do look alike, actually. And then Mr. Banks is the Civil War, the first military bank,
Yes, sir.
the Free Labor Bank, huh?
The Free Labor Bank.
Okay.
That's a
In
heck
New
of a
Orleans,
name.
right?
That's a heck of a name.
In New Orleans, right?
Indeed.
All
In
right.
Louisiana,
In
where they got
Louisiana.
different laws.
That deals with the Louisiana Who got enough to do that? Come on.
Louisiana. And that's the French Revolution and all of that.
Bingo, bro.
At that
Now it's
point, you
clicking.
dealing with, yeah. You dealing with,
Talk to him, Taj. Talk to him, King.
all right. So you had Napoleon Bonaparte Broward and all of that stuff. Remember they said J.P. Morgan was running guns.
Yes.
That's who was running the guns.
J.P. Morgan
Napoleon
was
Broward
running
was running the guns to Cuba.
Starting a private military. Go ahead.
But this is the thing, the guy Napoleon, the guy that Broward County is named after, Napoleon Bonaparte Broward, he was running guns and he was getting arrested and stuff like that. But that makes sense. He was during the Spanish American War. He was going back and forth, dropping people off. I guess bringing people in and dropping people off.
Who was in control of the Who was in control of the trains, man? J.P. Morgan.
The trains, yeah. It'd be all the robber barons. It's Vanderbilt, Morgan, but Morgan is the financier for everybody. He's the one that got everybody paid.
Who financed
Remember,
Marcus
he
Garvey?
paid,
Whose ships were those?
that was Morgan.
J.P.
Carnegie
Morgan.
and all of them. J.P. Morgan gave the money to all of them. That's when they all came up at that point.
So
that's how the
J.P.
robber
Morgan
barons-
put the people on the ship. He also, by admission, they held people hostage until the people handed over and gave them what they wanted. So they got them on the ship. They got them over there to Africa. They got them over there to Africa. They had him on his ships. He held who
by
hostage?
way of the American Colonialization Society, the ACS, when they was doing like Kentucky in Africa, and Louisiana in Africa, Mississippi in Africa, and they were, that almost seems like a sister city type of deal too. And that was moving up a little bit in time. That's when the Great White Fleet and everything, where Teddy Roosevelt got this serious money from who? From J.P. Morgan. That makes
who got
sense.
the gold from who?
And who got the gold from Grover Cleveland.
All right.
But at the beginning they got it from the banks.
From the Freedman banks.
Right, and they moved the headquarters of Freedman Bank to Washington, D.C., which is offshore, and it made an offshore bank.
That's right, which you know as the Federal Reserve Bank.
Dude. So,
and
Kev, all right.
and started a whole new country in somebody else's homeland like Israel.
Exactly.
Facts, bro.
Exactly.
The contract was up.
Bro.
They forfeited on their debt. Germany couldn't pay back the loan, so they subverted the government. They subverted the kingdom. They subverted the people who were here. Go ahead.
Right. So you had the Dawes plan, which was the original loan.
There you go.
It got fixed up with the Young plan. The Young plan, I guess they redid the loan or whatever, refinanced the loan or whatever, before it was just totally wiped out somehow, some way. And then right after that, you had the Emergency Banking Act, followed by the Social Security Act, followed.
They threw
so
you in
many
the state
acts,
of peril. They threw you in martial law ever since then. Bankers just running shit ever since J.P. Morgan stole the money from the original people. And they brought all nations over here with J.P. Morgan ships.
Yeah, yeah. And when at the conclusion of everything, at the conclusion of World War II, that's when they brought everybody in, bro. Like everybody, like with the magic carpet. Like it
Was
made
Operation Magic Carpet.
Yeah, bro. Because that was the same. Because Operation, remember, it was on two different two different theaters. One was in America for Operation Magic Carpet. The other one was in Israel, and that's when they established the state of Israel and caused all whatever was going on over there. Wow.
So
Wow.
but remember it's on y'all. Go ahead. You got the flow.
No, I don't want to. Yeah. Like it's just a lot going on in my head right now because, like I said, I've been looking at the bank panics, and it's like every time it's a panic or the country gets thrown into a perilous state during these times. And we talk about 1873, 1893, 1907. I want to say 1917 and then 1933. It's like that's when major policies that's when the laws were being amended, like, and people were being robbed and alienated of the property and the land.
Well, of
That's
course.
when the king got.
But that goes back to this, what we're discussing here. Who did it? We know that.
Yeah,
we know that.
For certain.
Okay? So the thing is identifying this regime. Who are they? Who is this J.P. Morgan and family? Who subdued the real Americans? Who is that? What banking cartel is that? Who is that?
Who is that today, or who was it back then?
Yeah, who was that? How many people did Stalin murder?
What was it, 20 million or 40 million? Somewhere in that range?
Somewhere in the
That's the same person. That's the same person.
Who's the same person?
Stalin.
Stalin is who?
Nathaniel P. Banks.
That's
Stalin
right.
is J.P. Morgan. And then he's also Porfirio Diaz in Mexico during the Mexican Revolution. Again, the French involved, but I ain't even gonna go there.
We're not even gonna go there.
Playing a lot of
let's keep it Stalinish and following the storyline of bankers from Stalin to J.P. Morgan Jr. See, that's who. See, a lot of people don't know. They see it now. I'm putting it on the screen. Stalin and J.P. Morgan Jr. look just alike. In fact, I believe they are the same person because you got the same bankers in them writing history. So if Stalin and J.P. Morgan Jr. and J.P. Morgan is Mr. Nathaniel, it's not much to change the character and make it like, oh, it's just Stalin did this. But what if Stalin was a part of the military of the banks, the banking military, which we see Nathaniel P. Banks involved in.
Right. And remember, Stalin was sitting up there during. I don't know if it was before, during, or after, but he was sitting up there at the world. I want to say it was the World Fair with Roosevelt and what's the guy from Churchill? Roosevelt and Churchill. So that could almost, like, I don't know. That's like welcoming, saying, "Hey, the regime is here. Like
We're
this is
here.
the turnover. Yeah,
Yeah, because at the
this the new
time,
world
Theodore
order."
Roosevelt is a fucking. They paint these people as heroes, but honestly, if you look at what's going on with your people at the time, these people are, in fact, the banking Nazi cartel taking over the Americas and then bringing everybody foreign here, establish themselves white supremacists by status, beginning the mooring system and tethering themselves, enslaving those, indoctrinating those who are born of this lineage.
That's right.
So thank you for the call. See,
Creating that whole.
anything else?
Nah, that's it, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate you, Kev,
yeah.
man.
I
On the back.
appreciate you. Shout out to you, my man Taj. That's it right there. Now, if you've been watching my channel, that I should be done right now. That's all you need. You're looking at a whole banking military cartel. Stealing what? The trust from who? What resources was taken? Then see, all of the evidence begin to make more sense once you know the culprits and who did this and why they must be stopped at all costs. Because they can't own anything, they can't do anything, yet these are your heroes. This is why I say the Nazis won World War II. This is the real life man in the high castle. People got to stop thinking everything is all good because they can go to work or they can go to the park and play. Cool. They was able to do that in Nazi Germany too. Cool. You can roll around and be happy and buy cheeseburgers and shit. Cool. That's what's up. But you can't want reparations, reclassification, without knowing how, who, what, where, when, and why this was done to you. Now, J.P. Morgan, Stalin, all of these individuals, Stalin genocide is the exact carbon copy to what happened to you here. Why? Because the same banking system, J.P. Morgan and Wells Fargo and all of these places are guilty of theft, high treason, Nazism, socialism, everything that you treat, everything that you can, and you can't say these corporations and banks aren't in existence. We found Nathaniel P. Banks, the people who he robbed. They formed their own counterbank called the Free Labor Bank. This is slavery. You playing one role on one side of the world, but you a banker over here. Your name is Gorbachev over there, but your name is motherfucking Morgan way over here as an American. So people got to wake up to what they've been living in. Not me. That's y'all. Now that's insanity when Disney don't made all of these characters up for you to believe genocide is old and it only worked with some evil man named. This is a bad episode of Scooby Doo. If you don't look at Stalin's ears, they're the same as J.P. Morgan Jr.'s ears. You niggas is guilty. I busted y'all. This is worse than fingerprint. Look at this big old ear. Press 1. This is the same one. Busted. Busted. fathers, sons, and uncles, and all playing different roles and characters. But this Nathaniel P. Banks is very important because all the work we did yesterday with the Freemans and their banking system, and they're talking about Nathaniel P. Banks. This is history. This is self-admitted. This is a part of it. This is in black and white. The first military bank, the Free Labor Bank, was established by General N.P. Banks in New Orleans to provide and secure reciprocity for repository for black Civil War soldiers and formerly, and that's what the Freedmen's Bank was, who was set up by who and headed by who. So who robbed you? Who robbed Afro-Americans of all of their possessions, all of their gold, all of their minerals? The banks. The Catholic Church went into business with the banking system. That's why they own everything. They made a deal with the devil. They went into business with oil tycoons and banks. That's how the church was a bank, established as banks. Because in real life, those were the banks. And the bankers was the Nazis. So that means early Catholicism was full of nothing but what? Nazi. And what I mean by Nazi, I mean the Aryan Brotherhood. Four 209-9506. All of this was to steal the trust. So this is how they were able to do so. Just stealing the resources and ciphering and forging documents and having their own bank, their own military unit, which were foreigners who later helped usurp and destroy all other banks, sending gold back to Washington to establish what? The Federal Reserve, and establish these acts you know as America today, as all of these amended powers, giving no heed to the laws of Moses or no supreme law of the land or anything. Just making up things as they go and wonder why they're in shambles. Just making it up. Establish themselves, making new national identities for themselves. Finding new ways to be nationalized immigrants here in the Americas when this ain't got nothing to do with them. Not if you know the estate, if you know what they took. So that's why I put this video up, so you can know who it is that was pulling these things off and what they were actually taking and what the trust actually is and why it's important that you pay attention, have something to say about these conversations. Let's get back to it.
What we've pretty much discovered, and I agree with the woman's, with her research, that the Constitution is a trust instrument, and in order for us to understand the peaceful philosophy behind what we're attempting to do in
the Constitution is a what? Is a trust instrument. Okay? Let's go.
Calling government to task, we have to understand that they are trustees. They are very much trustees. And as soon as we understand that, I think that the people in general are going to have a better understanding of where folks like us are coming from. Bunny, if you would, please.
Good morning. My name is Speakman, and I am an heir of liberty. And we're going to find out exactly what that means very shortly. I'm going to prove to you that the Founding Fathers were very lawful men. These gentlemen would not have gone against the law, and they would not have created a document that would have gotten them into trouble. Now, if you logically think about it, what if they had lost the Revolutionary War? They would have been hung for treason, conspiracy, whatever. Okay, so they did create a document that would be legal, lawful, and valid under the king's own law. The colonies had laws when they got here. They brought it with them. They were established at the time of the Revolutionary War and prior to it. And they followed those laws. So when they created the Constitution of the United States, they created it under the common laws that they had brought with them. Now, I'm going to also prove to you that this Constitution that we have here is a trust instrument, and it creates an estate because it all is under a state law. Now, I'm also going to prove to you that the trustees, as far as the heirs, are in breach of trust. And I will show you where you are not an heir, but something else. Now, I'm going to create pictures for you. If you ever put a 2,000-piece puzzle together, there's a little piece here and a little piece there. And we're going to take all these pieces and we're going to bring them in, and I'm going to try to make a picture for you in your mind so that you can actually see it not only in front of you, but inside of you and around you, that you can totally comprehend what we are at effect of today. Now, for example, there's a lack of communication we have with the government. And we have it with each other also. I think of one word and you think of totally something else. You're translating my word in your mind, like the word alienate. Now, how many of you perceive the word alienate or alienation to be a rejection of a sort? Okay. This is going to be the first word we look up in the dictionary. And for those of you who have brought your dictionary, please open it up to alienate.
Which one is that, Rick?
Any dictionary you have. I happen to have the dictionary, the American Dictionary of the English Language by Noah Webster, 1828. I think it's the finest dictionary I have come across, including Black's and Bouvier's. And I use it because in order to know what the Founding Fathers had in mind, what their intent was, you have to understand how they used the words at the time they created something. Okay, I will read it. Alienate. To transfer title, property, or right to another, as to alienate lands or sovereignty. Transfer title. Okay. Under alienation, still we have a transfer of title or a legal conveyance of property to another. So there goes your communication. We now have set up a communication between each other. Transfer title. Okay. Under alienation, still we have a transfer of title or a legal conveyance of property to another. So there goes your communication. We now have set up a communication between each other. Have we not?
More proper.
Okay. Now alienation does not mean rejection. It means to transfer property, to sell, buy, do whatever you want to with it. Okay. Now, keep these things in mind as we go along, okay? Take whatever I tell you and put it up in a little pigeonhole so we can bring it down later. Now, there is in your pamphlets, in your booklets, a diagram like this.
So you should already know, just speaking, we've been talking about how illegal it is for your homeland to even be alienated. This is not only laws of Moses. This is how you know they're transgressors of the law. This is not only the laws of Moses, but this is against your old laws. They don't trespass and move borderlines and moved you way to Africa to claim themselves as Indians. That's why I be laughing at Dan Calloway. How you going to, they want you to stay in some black and white fight back and forth over some color and pigmentation of your skin, and the white man, and then and let's form a community out of that and federalize it and claim nationality. No. These people are trust busters. And you got to remember, this is the language that they have to use to bust that trust wide open.
By the time we're finished with this class, lecture, whatever you want to call it, this diagram is going to be a living, breathing entity to you. It's going to be reality, I hope. If it's not, then I wouldn't have done my job. Now you will notice on the left side, this is the system according to me, on the left side you see up the top Principles of Liberty, and the preamble, the articles, the amendments, down through Amendment 14.
Okay, this is what Deb was talking about yesterday. This is a lot of us getting caught up in rhetoric of looking for things and this one and that one. And shout out to those who do. But you must remember the basis of this is the trust. And it's always going to come back to these videos and how they are trying to change their status because they feel tricked into becoming 14th Amendment citizens. So now they don't want to be 14th Amendment citizens no more. They want to go all the way back further. Well, if you're that already, why would you need to go back further anyway? I told you, the day you became a 13th and 14th Amendment citizen is the day they became nationalized and things of this nature and became white and became into being by accepting being that. And now that it's going to be unraveled, they want what? Oh, we don't want to be 14th Amendment citizens now. What do you want to be? We want to be fucking Magna Carta. We're heirs to, our forefathers was actually George Washington. No, your forefather is Abraham Lincoln. You get it?
And on the right side, you will find up at the top it says Principles of Mortmain. How many recognize the word Mortmain?
This is where you are.
You've read the book.
Okay? Black folk, people who are dead in knowledge and wisdom, you have to understand Mortmain and what that definition is. So pay attention.
Not the whole book. I've read some definitions, and I'm a little bit puzzled. So we're going to have to go through this.
Okay, well, Mortmain is a very puzzling thing, too, for me because it's been hidden from us. This is the disease that our country is at effect of today. It is the cancer eating our substance. Now, if you can recall back to medieval times, the Roman Catholic Church at one time in England had England in the palm of its hand in a grip that couldn't be let go.
There it is.
This wasn't just a morale or moral issue.
No, it's real. Oh, the whole world is in his hands in a grip. This is what you were under. Go ahead.
Okay, it wasn't because all these good people of England were devout Catholics worshiping the church. They had a legal grip on England. They were sucking it dry financially, spiritually, and physically.
With the banking system. So apply time immemorial to what happened to you. Okay, Shutter Island? Apply that. When they say England, think about the Victorians. When they say old English, just think about you. In them old photos on the Titanic, some goddamn weird. Okay, they're trying to subliminally tell each other what happened by using time immemorial little stories. Let's go. So the Catholic Church had a death grip on and was sucking it dry by, how were they doing that? Let's just say J.P. Morgan and these boys.
And it was a legal grip. According to some authorities I have heard or talked with, that the Catholic Church believing it, that the Corpus Christi of Christ being perpetual, so was the Catholic Church. I.e., we have a corporation.
Told you.
Okay?
Now, wait a minute.
Mortmain,
for all you religious folk,
and it was a legal grip.
Let's go.
According to some authorities I have heard or talked with, that the Catholic Church believing it, that the Corpus Christi of Christ being perpetual, so was the Catholic Church.
The Corpus Christi of Christ?
I.e., we have a corporation.
You're in dead hands. You're dead.
Okay. Mortmain refers to corporate functions,
this is
corporate principles,
the
corporate way of doing things, and now we shall look up that word in the dictionary. Again, Black's Law is good for the definition, but again I shall read from Noah Webster.
What are we looking at?
We are looking at Mortmain, M-O-R-T-M-A-I-N.
If you're in my class, make sure you get these books. I keep telling y'all, I'm going to send y'all links to the library so y'all can get the books, so you can get the books. You'll know what books we're kind of thinking out of and getting used to the language. Go ahead.
Mortmain. French, mort meaning dead and main meaning hand. In law, possession of lands or tenements in dead hands, or hands that cannot alienate. Alienation in mortmain is an alienation of lands or tenements to any corporation, sole or aggregate.
You see why you can't be alienated? You see why they had to use corporations and Red Cross to alienate your land? Why J.P. Morgan had to get you off the land? You were invaded by aliens. Press 1 if you understand what I'm saying. This is war of the worlds, bro. Their sci-fi is your reality. Let's go.
Ecclesiastical or temporal, particularly to houses of religion, or religious houses, by which the estate becomes perpetually inherent in the corporation and unalienable.
Non-transferable. So you are in George's hands. You were. You still are. But you think you're in the bank's hand. Dead hands. And those dead hands, the God of the dead, that dead. No, you were in a tight grip, meaning you cannot be moved. If God had a land, it'd be called America, and he birthed you from this land. You shall not be moved, as they said in Lord of the Rings. You know what I'm talking about, fam? Because you removed them from the land, they are tethered and tied to the land. They're anchored on the land. It was made of the land, given their kingship here. Free. Oh, and the Catholic bankers hated that. Hit that like button. We call that Rome. Rome hated that.
Mortmain, it means dead hands. Something is in dead hands. It is a death grip on this country. death grip on this country, the same way it was in England in medieval times. It is the principle our government is working under and upon at this very moment.
Boom.
Henry VIII saw this.
They all saw this. There were Mortmain statutes. And now we're going to commence
See,
to go
you're
through...
dead. They're alive. But they're working in Mortmain necromancy. Corporate status.
The literature. Now, all this Mortmain, put it up here with alienation, okay? Because it's going to be coming up. Mortmain and Mortmain and Cyprus have destroyed our country. We'll get into Cyprus. I like to say Cypre because it's a French word and it sounds very elegant. Cypre. So when I say Cypre, it's C-Y-P-R-E-S-S, 2 words. Cyprus is the ability to change a trust. Okay? The authority.
Okay. Cypre is the ability to do what? Change the trust. This is very important, fam. And for some of y'all who watch cartoons, I'm about to show y'all something so you'll get an understanding why I keep bringing up Disney and the importance in knowing the psychotrauma that Disney put you under here. And you've been finding entertainment in the characters and demons of death, subliminally laughing at you. And you going to their Disney worlds and you having a blast. You don't trade it in your own sovereignty for Disney. This is funny. A wonderland. It's not funny, but you gonna learn today. Now, we was just talking about Mortmain, and we don't know the definitions of these words. But let's think of Mortimer Mouse, Mickey Mouse's uncle. And what is Mortimer? And where did he live? And what is Mortmain and Mortimer? And what is that? We was talking about trading places. Remember? Come on, y'all. Wake up. Let me see what's in my Cash App. Shout out to GRG for that $10 contribution and Deborah Nichols. Shout out to Auntie Deb for Tomorrow News Today with her $3 contribution to this program. You feel me? I don't make too much. Cue the sad music. Put the sad African music up there. I don't make too much. It's what? But if each one of you right now find this information real important, all 100 and 200 of y'all, how many gonna see this in the future? Please contribute to my Cash App. Hashtag Gills Gang. Any amount is great. Whatever you think this program is worth. Lord have mercy. So back to the program. Mortimer Mouse. Pay attention. That's why I say you've been dead the whole time in dead hands. Okay? I'm not just making things up. This is real. And you've been in Disney World laughing and joking with people who really is what you call that? The Nazis did Operation where they did the mind control from the television. They did altered mind states. You laughing at Disney and they're talking about a corporate dead state the whole time that you're fantasizing about. Alice in Wonderland. All of their movies consist of the same programming. Let's go.
Okay, the ability, what such are. Now we're going to go to the preamble. I have the preamble sitting here right in front of you.
Black folk don't know shit about no preamble.
And we'll be looking at that and going to the English laws. Now, the greatest document ever created was the Magna Carta, as far as I'm concerned. Our Constitution today is literally our Magna Carta. Okay? Now, in the Magna Carta, I have given to you, I believe, the whole of it. It's very difficult reading because it's in the Old English words. But if you do read it, and you should, okay, you will notice that It is all, or basically up to a certain point, about inheritances, to inherit your liberty, especially number CAP.
You hear that? To inherit your liberty, but in the land of the free? Come on now.
P1, okay, a confirmation of liberties. Right here, it takes the liberties and says, our liberties are inheritable. We have granted also and given to all the free men of our realm for us and our heirs forever.
Now stop. Who are the free man? Is that you or is it them? Come on.
These liberties.
Now that you know you was duped, who is the free man and who was the free labor? I'm fucking dead, man.
Written. Okay, the Magna Carta makes your liberties an inheritable thing. For as much as we have progressed scientifically, we have regressed spiritually and legally. Okay, we are definitely in feudal times. Now back to the Magna Carta. The first one is about the liberties. The second one is the relief on the king's tenant of full age. Third is wardship, and these are all inheritances. Okay. Fourth is about wasting. Now, wasting is very important, okay, because this will come up later. I presume I can see that the 14th Amendment is projected toward people who waste, okay? In CAP...
You hear that? The 14th Amendment is projected for people who waste.
35,
Pay attention
it
to these
discusses
words
liberties purchased. Okay, if you weren't a free man or if you didn't have a free estate, you literally purchased your estate and your liberties were derived from that idea of purchase. Okay.
You see? You purchase your freedom. Freed man from a foreign nation. Now listen to me. You nearly purchased your freedom with the life estate. You're not from there. You got liberties to do things, but you're not of right. Let's go.
Now, wasting is very important, okay, because this will come up later. I presume I can see that the 14th Amendment is projected toward people who waste, okay. In CAP 35, it discusses liberties purchased. Okay, if you weren't a free man or if you didn't have a free estate, you literally purchased your estate and your liberties were derived from that idea of purchase. Okay, these are things just skimming the top so far. Now, at 36, we come into mortmain. It shall not be lawful from henceforth to give his lands to any religious house. Now, the reason they had religious house, why they specifically were pointed at religious houses, because the Catholic Church was a corporation. Catholic Church, and I don't mean to knock or poo-poo the Catholic Church or any other religion, it just happens to be the way it was at the time.
Told you.
So, the Catholic Church was
Can a corporation own anything? So that's why they went in business with who? J.P. Morgan and the banks.
They were attempting to prevent it from sucking the wealth out of England. A person would die or was about to die, and he would bequeath his estate over to the Catholic Church for the saving of his immortal soul, leaving the heirs destitute or out on the street. So this was an attempt on their part to prevent that to the Catholic Church as a corporation.
Told you.
Because it was in dead hands and they couldn't.
I told you. So America is what? Catholic? Candace Owens, all these people love America and that flag and America this. That's the genocidal maniac nations who overthrew you, who trying to put their genocide on some Indians, which is themselves. Okay? It's you who they totally robbed and genocided and made black in law. So they are all a part of that corporation, and come to find out, she's fucking a slave trader, sons of slave traders. So that makes sense. You're nothing but a small, big head Ethiopian Somalian woman playing the role of a white woman. And you're not even from here. You gave up this state, had 2 little foreign babies, and now you're European. So take your little big-headed ass back. Where you come from?
Get it back. It kept revolving in dead hands. Okay? Quia emptoris,
is Catholic.
I put this in there. You should probably read it at your leisure.
Just put it like
It's-
this.
it
America
applies-
and the sons and daughters of America are the same people who murdered Jesus Christ. I don't even know why y'all keep thinking Jesus was murdered by people who got whips and sandals, because Mel Gibson told you in them goddamn illustrations, people who killed Jesus Christ. You are part of that whole world. The people who hung Christ in a tree and burned up Antipas and all of that Roman stuff, you are of that religious cult of Peter, bro, who Jesus called Satan. So good luck with praising God and jumping over brooms, witches. Press 1. Good luck with stealing souls. Remember? Ursula, it was all fun and games until God let you know about yourself and you busted. Y'all all Catholics. Y'all all part of the black and white Nazi white supremacist regime that overthrew God's people and stole the trust and stole the kingdom and are here on foreign lands invading us, and we are POWs and we need help. See, God said, when my people turn from their wicked ways and call out to him, yeah, bro, I'm tired, bro. It's time to go ahead and turn from the wicked way, because we see now this was a trick. We got the whole Morris system, Antichrist, the sciences of Satan, the serpent, the statue of Serapis, all that. We are in hell right here. Convicts right here in good old America, stripped away of our heritage, our greatness, everything stolen from us. And y'all don't establish a whole corporation of white supremacy. You heard me? You see that language? A whole corporation of white supremacy where I have to change my status and become dead just to get a piece of bread. Oh, no, y'all don't fucked up. See, now I'm ghetto mixing it with a little conservatism. See, they ain't gonna be able to fuck with Kev with a double cup of coffee in my hand. Stop it. Hit that like button to support the broadcast.
Also, the next page is the Statute of Mortmain, 15 Richard 2nd, 1391, Chapter 5. Again, they're trying to stop the eating of the corporate power from the country.
Told you.
Or am I saying?
Ain't that smart? To stop the eating away of corporate power at the country? Ain't that what kings and queens supposed to do? No, you're not finna own the people. I work for the people. I'm of the people. No, you're not about to own us in perpetual state of debt. Do we think we rolling around in cars and we owe $30,000 for pieces of plastic? Press one. I'm tired of this shit. Come on, bro. Tired of this nigga approach to life. Like all we do is bibbidi bop our heads up and down with a hat on, thinking we cool with nothing on our brains but monkey-minded Universe 25 bullshit. Tired, bro. Hit the like button. Man, I'm trying to find out what mortmain mean. Press 1. Nigga ain't never heard that. What the fuck is that? Yeah, bro, we in dead hands. They say we King George's people, bro. We was in dead hands over there, but we in dead hands to people that don't even exist, bro. Death, the Catholic Church, and we ain't even Catholic. They just own us, bro. They took everything. Your forefathers owned everything, and then the Catholic Church and the corporations took everything. Corporations took the gold, Catholic Church took the gold. They kids run around today talking about Tartaria and how the Catholic Church murdered a bunch of people. They don't know who they were, but they under the Catholic Church. All 80 million of the same ones, Stalin and Genghis Khan don't murder. Press 1. When they bring up Genghis Khan and these people, they draw it. They don't write it, make you think it was a long time ago. J.P. Morgan, I just proved, is in association with the first homicidal, socialist, Nazi, regime, genocidal maniac Marcus Garvey with getting rid of you and holding our forefathers hostage for the safe passage and return from North Africa. Press 1. Get off my dick, nigga. Press 1. They had to pay to fight back and come back and work off the debt, bro. And they owed us money. Our people fell and they took our people to North Africa and enslaved us and held us hostage and until we and our forefathers turned over all banking records and all. Look, Kev going in, bro. Y'all better support this broadcast. I'm not playing this week. Who is this in my Cash App? RT Bell with that contribution. She said, y'all, RT Bell said, for many blessings, and the bungalows better start supporting. Kenton S. Reed didn't say nothing, so I'm going to speak for him with that $20 contribution. They said the bungalows better start putting in their own payment centers or something, because we tired of support, y'all. Pop do say for the spirit of truth and the bungalows again with their EBT program. Teresa with that $25 Bank Day Cinco contribution. She didn't say nothing at 1107 in my Cash App, but what she do want to say is the bungalows better get their shit together. We tired of carrying the load. GRG says for the real and for the bungalow. Shout out to you and Deborah Nichols. God is good. God is good. That's all. You feel me? That's all I can say. But that's all I can say, man. We're going to make this cool. You know, you ain't got to donate to Coffee and Kush TV. We got that. But this here, oh yeah, this is important. To know you come from greatness, and you, if God created a corporation, you would be in his hands and dead hands, and Satan to be trying to do what? Get you out of God's dead hands over to his. And he condemned to the bottomless pit or the sea. Way over there on the island that the Bible is warning you about with 7 hills. Catholic Church sitting over there, 7 hills. The Bible was literally telling you about this Catholic Church that is going to come and take over everything, using its bankers and octopus take over ass fucking leech lifestyle, destroying you, and you're going to go right over there. Jesus looked Peter in the face and said, get behind me, Satan. You're going to go right over there and say, I'm going to join up with the Catholic Church. What seat is this? Oh, this is the St. Petersburg. This is the seat of Peter. Oh, the one Jesus called Satan? Yeah, look at it. It's beautiful, huh? Real demonic. That's what the fuck it is. They took everything from us. The kingdom, everything. And called himself the speaker of Christ from the bottomless pit. And got all of you joined its religious cult into blasphemous antichrist, thinking you worshiping God's son. Oh, you done messed up today? Hit the like button. You didn't read John 16 where Jesus told you there was somebody coming that was great. You forgot about that part. Cavro University. You on the air. What's up?
What's up, Kev?
What's your name?
How you doing, bro?
What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up?
This said, my man said, one of my favorite Frenchmen, by the way. Go ahead, say
it. Hey, can I read 2 definitions real quick for the class?
Go ahead, chap.
All right, so one is for waste, for like the lady was just saying, for waste. So it's to diminish by gradually dispensation or loss. To cause to be lost.
Wait. Repeat it. I had to go light my swisher. I ain't even gonna front, bro. Could you repeat that? I kind of stood up and left for a second. Go ahead.
Okay, so it says this is waste.
Oh,
so
waste.
To diminish by gradually, diminish by gradual dispensation or loss.
Oh,
thus, disease, waste the patient. To cause to be lost. By scattering or by injury.
Damn. So the scattering, wasn't Israel scattered? So that mean waste.
Yes, sir.
That can possibly mean a form of waste. Go ahead.
So the third one is to expend without necessity or use. to destroy wantonly or luxuriously to squander.
Oh,
Cause to be
to
lost
buy
through
Gucci.
wantonness.
Oh, to buy Gucci beyond your means and to live in usury and to be like fronting.
Yes, sir.
I was just
Yes,
fronting.
sir.
You know I'm brokey, babe. Go ahead. Oh, okay. So it's illegal to buy Gucci in our. if we can get a shirt for $15 with our own print on, why spend $350 and stay in the red trying to catch up? That's illegal. Go ahead.
You sure right, Kev.
It is.
So, but
It's
I wanted, I
irresponsible,
didn't know
right?
what,
That's incompetent.
yes, sir.
Did it keep you in the
Yeah.
red? Yesterday, bro, I had a pimp decision. Let me tell my classroom. Nigga, I was gonna spend $140 on some beautiful Air Max. Let me tell you, I went to the mall yesterday. I ain't been out to shop in a minute. But I didn't want to spend $140. I wanted to spend $40. And that's what my Air Maxes cost me yesterday. Same shoe. Same shoe. From $140 to $40. I said Nike gives shoes away. These Air Maxes for $40. I was about to spend $140. Oh my goodness.
Right.
So Nike can sell shoes for $40.
Oh yeah, they don't cost $40 to make them.
I was at the mall. So they can get their shoes, Nike Air Maxes, and these shoes you can get for stupid discount if they're rag tagged or something like that. Was crazy to me. I said I was about to spend $140.
Oh yeah, this depends on where you go to.
Yeah, it depends on where you go. So you got to be a smart shopper. You got to be thinking. You got to be aware. And it's like, damn. Go ahead.
You gotta have purpose. Purpose when you spend.
Shit. Go ahead. I know the people probably thinking
Look,
that nigga got some old bullshit bubblegum, old Nike Air Max. Hell no. I couldn't believe it myself. Go ahead.
I believe you too, Kev.
Yeah,
'Cause
please do. Because I
outlets
dress
and
fresh,
stuff, but
bro.
anyway.
I'm really fresh. You wouldn't believe, nigga.
Oh yeah,
Like, what?
I seen you at the off-white,
You saw I had the off-white what?
the Jordans, the 5.
Oh, yeah, bro. Yeah. See, now that I know, I might not spend another, but 40, 50, 60 bucks. Now that I know where to go.
Oh yeah.
I was in there like a tourist. What the fuck? How often do y'all do this? Oh, every time we get overload or, just the way it is. They don't even know. But I'm going to find out. Go ahead.
All right, so it says to be lost through wantonness. So I didn't know what wonton was, so I looked it up. So wonton, let me pull it back up again. It says wonton is an adjective. It says wandering or revolving in gaiety or sport. It's to move or fly loosely, playing in the wind. Wandering from moral rectitude, lucidness, dissolution, indulging in sensuality without restraint.
So make it make sense to the people like Ali and Marley who not paying attention. Make it make sense to them.
It's everything that they push on the black community in Universe 25. It's wandering, wasteful spending.
So everything that makes you incompetent is rap culture.
Yes, sir.
Say it with me. Say it with me. If everything in rap culture makes you what? Say it.
Incompetent. Non-compos mentis.
Like a child, like a kid.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Blown in the wind.
Blowing in the wind, wandering. Making them a wanderer
Yes, sir.
legally.
And thus being a 14th Amendment citizen.
Uh-huh.
If you wander around aimlessly, you ain't got no job.
And what that mean? That's
If
illegal.
you got to get a job, and if you have to get a job, you're possessed.
But if you got to get a job,
Yes, sir.
but if you don't have a job, what happened?
You're a criminal. You're a wanderer. Vagabond.
This is the funniest part of my show because I live in democratic communities my whole life, so say that for my people who are criminals. If you ain't got no job, you it's illegal. You're a vagrant.
Yes, sir.
So you go to the asylum.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you commit a crime,
Or you have to sign up for a labor camp.
or you got to sign up for a labor camp like trade school or what's that one thing when you don't want to go to school, you go to job court or AFRICORPS.
I mean, I'm saying if you don't have a trade, you either going willingly or unwillingly.
You're going to jail. You're going to the asylum or to the labor camp.
Yes, sir.
That's owned by the bank.
Yes, sir.
Just like today.
Yes, sir. And that will put you under civil jurisdiction.
There you go. So you got to be a criminal and die before you can even be rehabilitated to what you're supposed to be, if that's even possible. What did Joe Biden say to Congress? He said, if they don't rehabilitate, if they what? Say it. You got it.
He said if they don't, even if they do rehabilitate themselves, we don't understand it.
So what that mean?
They won't recognize it. It won't. It is.
So even if you find yourself to be
no
competent,
legal footing in it.
we don't understand how you even became competent. So we're not recognizing you. So if you guys want to continue to think like children and live under that construct and be okay with boobity bopping your head around like you know something and you really don't, that's fine with me. I know this. What Sayed talking about? Go ahead, champ.
It's a prescribed reality. Remember, Universe 25.
It's a prescribed reality.
It's a revolution through prescription.
Media.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, you got it. Anything else?
Well, if it's like Universe 25 with what's the guy named Calhoun? When he was drawing on the board.
Yes.
The prescribed reality is what he said was George Orwell's 1984.
Mortimer.
That's Mortmain. Yes, sir. George Orwell's 1984.
So
that would be
Living Dead.
Mortmain. So
Night of the Living Dead.
Living Dead.
Ah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I just want to throw that in there, Kev, while he's watching the video.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Like, she's about to talk about it right now, too. So
Yes,
I just
sir.
want to put some
clarity,
some context with it.
Thank you so much, Shane.
Yes, sir.
My man.
No problem, Jay.
Said, love this right here. This is the family.
Yeah, right. Do we get it? Okay.
So to be honest, pay attention. It's about wasteful spending and what it has to do with. So again, you're dealing in specific. I think that's I don't know what laws she was talking about, but dealing in wasteful spending and the definition of being wasteful within the context of it is very, very important.
Now we're going to get in. If you have a question, please write it down so that at the end, after the taping, we can get back to the question, because I hopefully will answer anything that comes up and you can just scratch your question off.
Well, this pertains to the Legacy 1, too. So do these references here match what's in Legacy 1?
Most of them, yes. This is where I got Legacy 1 and Legacy 2. Okay. The Statute of Wills. Now, when the question came up, just what is the Constitution, I had an inkling. I mean, someone gave me the input that, it had something to do with a will. There was will structure in it. So I started to, reading about wills. And it led me to the Statute of Wills. And in the Statute of Wills, you will notice by the star where it says, hereditaments holding of the king, his heirs or successors, or any other person or persons by night service shall have full and free liberty, power, and authority to give, dispose, will, or devise to any persons except bodies, politic, and corporate.
You see that? So that's why your name has to be in corporate status for this to work. Because it's illegal for you to transfer property over to corporations or religious structures because that's aligned with what? Satan's kingdom, the Catholic Church, the banking system, and all of that stuff that's enslaving you piece by piece, property by property, and then selling your property illegally to Japan, China, corporations, funneling your resources, gold, silver. So the BLM and the land management companies are taking gold and silver right out of here and giving it to oil tycoons in Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Japan. This is what happened when you trade in your freedoms and liberty for protection from banks. Literally.
Okay?
And now you see where the Buffalo Soldiers came from. Because these black people were coming in working for the banks as guards. Bank military. Pinkerton. Damn it.
So the Constitution as a thing right there told me it could not be a will. Couldn't possibly be a will. It was against the common law. It was against the laws of England, of which the founding fathers were following. Okay? I then came to the statute of uses, and things began to start looking familiar. In the statute of uses, down at the bottom, where it starts to read that where any person or persons stand to be seized, or at any manors, lands, tenements, rents, services, reversions, remainders, or others, or other, or any body politic, by reason of any bargain, sale, fee-offment, fine, recovery, covenant, contract, agreement, will, or otherwise, by any manner, means whatsoever, it shall be, in every such case, all and every such person and persons and body politic that have or hereafter shall have any such use, confident, or trust in fee simple, fee tail, or term of life, 4 years, etc., shall from henceforth stand be seized and deemed and judged in lawful season. This is saying that this creates a trust, a use, actually. I put something in trust.
Now, listen to the... She's real good. Pay attention.
By reason of any bargain, sale, fee-offment, fine, recovery, covenant, contract, agreement, by reason of any lands, tenements, rents, services, reversions, remainders, or others, or other, or any body politic, by reason of any bargain, sale, fee-offment, fine, recovery, covenant, contract, agreement, will, or otherwise.
They can't get a bargain. They can't liquidate. It's very specific on what they bet not do. This is why it's important to remember the contract, remember the covenant, remember God. Remember God is with us.
By any manner, means whatsoever, it shall be, in every such case, all and every such person and persons and body politic that have or hereafter shall have any such use, confident, or trust in fee simple, fee tail, or term of life, 4 years, etc., shall from henceforth stand be seized and deemed and judged in lawful season. This is saying that This creates a trust, a use, actually. I put something in trust for your use. I am the trustee. I'm not only the trustee, but I'm the testator or the trustor. I'm a person who creates it. But I put something into trust so that you can use it.
Now, who did this? Who did this? Who? P. Morgan. Freeman's Banks was taking the money, establishing and making a trust out of it. A separate trust. So that you can use it. So that what? Friends and family. So it became, J.P. Morgan figured out a way to launder the money by forging the signatures and stealing it from them, but placing it in his own trust. And then from his trust, listen to me, from his trust, oh my goodness, from his trust, as from a humanitarian making it legal to do so, you see the switch? From the trust and will of God and the way and the order of things. Let's just say George, right? Let's just say the will of George Washington is to give his estate over to the people. J.P. Morgan and Nathaniel P. Banks and these people, this is the significance of it. Now watch this, Taj. I'm so glad that you brought that up and we're seeing it from a different perspective, Taj. We watch this video over and over, and every time we do from a new perspective, it hit different. I want to show you this because this is what I'm talking about here. I just got this. They siphoned the money and established a minor. J.P. Morgan did this. This is why the Chase and them is going to be held responsible. They're being judged as we speak. Because nothing is there. Now, here's the Morgan Trust Company. Look how much information we finding out without no stress being on my page. Without no stress, look how easy this is. When everybody worked together. This is from Shiva. She sent this on me to me earlier today. And now it makes sense. They took it from the trust and developed and then distributed from there as a legal entity. So everything coming from here would appear to be legal, even though it was ciphered from Freeman Banks and black people. Hit the like button. Does that make sense? Well, then open up. Let me in then. Press 1. Let me in. And Nathaniel P. Banks and J.P. Morgan, all this was fraudulent activity. He even had access to official bank certificate papers and notes and things of that nature so to make it appear real. So let's put this trust company over to the side. Thank you so much. Put this over to the side. That make perfect sense. To be able to be used in the way that this lady is speaking of as a charitable use. So now he's the biggest charity on the planet. You get it? Because he's going to give it to who? It's insane.
It's actually yours and mine, but you can use it. It's a use. They called it the statute of uses. Trusts and uses are basically the same thing. They fall under the same idea, the same conditions.
See? Because it's a minor estate.
That started to ring a bell. To use. Yes, I should be able to use it.
Now, this woman is a German. Now, listen to me. This woman is a German. A Polish or Slavic or something. He has no ties to this estate whatsoever. Her forefathers are immigrants. Known fact. So for the conniving behavior of this woman to be trying to place herself and receive things that are not hers is demonic and devilish. But she's speaking to a bunch of other folk who's just as repulsive, demonic, and a thief as she is.
To charitable uses, and things really begin to look familiar.
Told you. Charitable uses.
Now,
This is how Gillespie Estate went from pennies to a $100, $200, $300 million donation. Charitable uses has to be done this way. And in this way, we'll be able to find much more discrepancies than we did before.
Statute of charitable uses, you shall find that which looks very familiar, like the Social Security system.
Boom. Boom.
The repair of bridges.
Boom. Ports. 14th Amendment. Now, the portal, we're in. We in.
Havens, causeways, and highways.
Look.
You will find supportation, aid, and help of young tradesmen, handicraftsmen, persons.
Look.
You will find the word other taxes in it. Okay, this is a very important statute. The statute of uses and the statute of charitable uses are the big ones. Then on the next page, I have the statute of fraudulent deeds, alienations, etc., which is a statute 13 Elizabeth 1, 1570, chapter 5. Now, Elizabeth, this was after the overthrow of the Catholic Church. They were now Protestants and had gained control back of England. What happened was, I guess people just got fed up with the whole situation.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
They got tired of the corporate.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Y'all got to type in Elizabeth D. Gillespie. Press 1. Y'all just be thinking white people Elizabeth. These are challenges to the federal estate legally. Come on, family. Y'all about to wake up this week.
Mortmain structure, keeping them in dead hands with the death grip. Got rid of the king, got rid of the church. Look. And now we have Elizabeth, who is Protestant. And she creates the statute of fraudulent deeds. And in here, you will find that if there's any fraudulent situations over conveyances, like trusts, deeds.
Yes. If there's any fraudulent activity, which we just figured out, 2023, press 1. If there's it, then what? This is Elizabeth here.
You are now in jeopardy.
You are in jeopardy.
By guileful and covetous or fraudulent devices and practices.
Oh, my goodness.
As aforesaid, we shall or might be in any ways disturbed, hindered, delayed, or defrauded to be clearly and utterly void, frustrate, and of none effect. If you created trust that was fraudulent, it was of none effect. So therefore, if the founding fathers...
Now, wait a minute. It was what? It was in what? Null effect. I mean, everything you've done must be retracted. That's what I said. Everything you've done is null and void. The whole contract is fraudulent. That's what we did. That's what we're doing. Your whole contract is fraudulent because it was done. Who did it? J.P. Morgan, under the disguise of what? Wake up, Ali. Sit up in your chair, damn it. Where D-Jack? Wake your ass up. T. Watson, I see you in the chat room. I'm glad you sitting up straight, hands folded. You got your shirt tucked in properly. Your polo shirt folded over, but shirt button all the way up. T. Watson, you still fresh haircut, see? You got to come to class ready, champion. The rest of these niggas quiet. That nigga Kev at a place they ain't even know. I told you, type it in right now, Elizabeth Gillespie, and then you'll see it. I told you D-Jack was right there. I think I know you there. We got coffee and cushion to work on, sir. I know you gonna sit up in your chair, sir. God damn it. He was slouching. He missed that whole part, y'all. He missed that whole
So
part.
therefore, if the founding fathers were creating a trust in the Constitution, it had to be lawful.
It better be lawful.
It had to be lawful.
That's right.
We go again to the statute against collusive and fraudulent conveyances, which also upholds this thought and line of idea. Number 3 down in the first paragraph says, or else by any secret intent of the parties, the same to be their own proper use, and at their free disposition. Number 4, colored nevertheless by a feigned countenance and show of words and sentences as though the same were made bona fide for good causes. Still upholding the fact that if you are creating something, it has to be lawful. It has to be lawful. This is the common law. This is the law of England.
See?
And this is the law that the founding fathers went by.
That's right.
They were lawful men. You will find constantly through these statutes repeatedly inheritances, repeatedly body politics, corporate, so that you can literally separate who is who without everything being piled up into a mishmash.
See?
We have the statute of frauds.
What the fuck is a mishmash? Somebody's about go
important thing. We can't get to the statute of frauds when we go into court these days because the laws and the workings of the Mortmain government is not in its reach. It's not in its reach. We're going to show you how and why it's not in its reach. Okay? So when you go into a court saying, you know, this is fraudulent, the judge sitting there going, no, I don't think so. No, because you can't get to the common law. You are barred. The little diagram I showed you, there is a bar going down between the two columns on the right and the left. There is a bar that goes down between the principles of liberties and the principles of Mortmain. We're literally stuck into Mortmain in dead hands. That's why we feel so frustrated when we go into court, knowing that there is justice somewhere, but we're not experiencing it, we're not feeling it, we don't see it, we don't get it, something's wrong. We are barred. We keep coming up against the steel wall. Now, in order for you to understand where the power lies, the power does not lie in the articles, nor does it lie in the amendments. The power lies in the preamble. It is the preamble that creates the estate.
Boom. Why do you think Deb brought up the preamble in The Golden Child, what the title is about yesterday? Because the truth and the proof is in the contract. The proof is in the contract.
It is the preamble that creates the trust. It is the preamble who tells you who it is or who it isn't, actually. Okay? You must understand what an estate is so that you can see it. So that you can see the estate lying in here, and so that you can see the trust. Okay, we know that the English laws, it had to be a will or a trust. It wasn't a will. We're going to presume it's a trust because they had to make it legal and lawful. They weren't going to get hung. I don't think so. If I were to create a document today, I try to make my documents lawful. I'm trying to follow.
They said they wasn't about to get hung for that shit. Dad brought up the fact that they overthrew. Some people hung some people. Somebody brought that up yesterday. They said, oh, you about to go tell on us? We taking you too.
Their laws, doing it right all along. Okay, so they were no different than we are. And I am a lawful person. You're going to have to turn this one sideways. This that we're going to go into is a book written by an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, Henry Baldwin, in 1837. It was published. And it's a rather large, it's much larger than what I have given you. It's literally a book, and bless my friend who gave it to me, because she said, well, so-and-so says this, that, and the other, and it's found in here. And I said, oh, well, I'd like to read this. And when I read it, I said, well, so-and-so missed something. He missed on page 3 the first parts of these things. Okay, down on the bottom, you see where it starts out, to me, just above the star. I'm going to read down. To me it seems that it can be made intelligible, we're discussing the Constitution, in all its parts by applying to it those established rules and maxims of common law in the construction of statutes, and those accepted definitions of words, terms, and language in which they had been used and had been received as well known and understood in their ordinary or legal sense. That's why I have the Webster's Dictionary of 1828, because that's what the Constitution was written on. According to the subject matter, in appealing to the common law as the standard of exposition in all doubts as to the meaning of written instrument, there is safety, certainty, and authority. The institution of the colonies were based upon it. It was their free system of jurisprudence, with only local exceptions to suit the conditions of the colonists, who claimed it as their birthright and their inheritance. The common law was their birthright and their inheritance.
Boom.
So they were claiming the liberties that were given to them under the great charters and the laws of England.
The Magna Carta. You see why the banks can't handle common law? It forbids the banks from ruling over you. This is what you are and was grafted into. The protection. Of death, sin, the God of time, Ford, the 40-hour work week, and all of that. Not all of this stuff that came with turning against your own law, which means turning it against your own God.
The Magna Carta bequeathed, brought up the inheritance of liberties, and here they are claiming their inheritance, their birthright. We're having a problem getting to our birthright today. The next page. From the beginning, I guess that's the first paragraph down, the little star up at the top. From the beginning till the consummation of the Revolution, the people of the colonies and states in all successive congresses, they had congresses at the time,
of course,
took their stand upon the common law and Constitution of England as the heirs of freedom. English freemen, whose custom it is derived from their ancestors to make those tremble who dare to think of making them miserable.
Boom. Now, for immigrants from the 1900s, ain't got shit to do with this. I told you. Stop right there. It's like the Moors. Sir, this ain't got nothing to do with no immigrants that came over from Germany, Polish, and all that in the late 1800s, the early 1900s to overthrow us. This ain't got nothing to do with y'all. This is a whole different group of people, a whole different nation. That goes to prove y'all just identify and make yourselves everything that came from sovereignty and kingdoms and Irish and Ireland and all, and it had nothing to do with them. That goes to show you, lady, your people just came here in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Now, that's something else.
God bless them.
Look.
Heirs of freedom. They didn't claim to be sovereign state citizens. Sovereign state citizenship did not exist.
Told you, Moors didn't exist.
It didn't exist until the king said, here is the Treaty of Peace. You're a sovereign citizen, or whatever he said.
That's when Moors was created, nigga. Told you! You didn't have nothing! There was no goddamn Spanish king nowhere! There wasn't no Morocco, nigga. When Gillespie was here, it wasn't none of that. 150 years ago. You niggas would have been hanging from trees, all 50 nations. They waited till after George passed in the early 1900s, 1905, to go ahead and start doing these things and usurping the government. That lets you know she's talking about the Moors. Because the Moors, the Sephardic Jews, the Ashkenazi, the black and white, Germanic sons of Edom, Edomites, German, Russian guards, bro. The Red Army, bro. Come on.
It didn't exist. Who were they? What were they to call themselves? They called themselves heirs of freedom. This preempts state citizenship. This is who they define themselves as. You won't find a state citizen mentioned in the preamble because it did not exist.
What?
But an inheritance did.
You see that? A citizen of what? A citizen of what?
Rico.
Rico, you on the air. What up?
What's going on, champ? Powerful information today. You already know it, man. We rocking and rolling, man. Man, I want to speak on these aliens starting off a little bit, because you just finished off on them.
On what
I want to speak on who can't inherit the land, who don't have.
That's what we're talking about here. That's
Promo.
what we're talking about. Let me teach. Thank you, sir. Let me teach. Let me talk to the students but she's talking about it right now. What the hell is you going to say over this woman? She's doing it right now.
So did estate laws. So did trusts.
We talking about something else.
So now we
no
have
damn
heirs
aliens. That
of
was 10,
freedom.
15 minutes ago. Quit calling me in the middle of my show talking about some damn, that was a good program. You ain't finna take this nowhere. We talking about something very specific at this time. I'm new here. I don't know if it's all topic, but I ain't got time for you
But
being
an
new here.
inheritance did. So did estate laws. So did trusts. So now we have heirs of freedom. An heir. Down on the bottom again, it mentions more about the inheritance left us by our forefathers. Our inheritance. The great bulwark of our Constitution. The first and best maxims of the Constitution. You think the best maxim is the Articles or the First Amendment? No, it's in the preamble. It's the first maxim.
That creates the trust.
Venerable to Britons and Americans, whose forefathers participated in the rights and liberties they boasted of and conveyed the same fair inheritance to them. We have a conveyance. Convey, inheritance, freedom. It was called the covenant chain on the next page at the star between the mother country and them.
What's
The
the mother
charters of
country?
the king were their written civil constitutions of government, and the colonies would not part with or lose their hold of this covenant chain. There is a covenant of liberty. Covenant, promise, guarantee, secure, insurance. It's a covenant.
You can see them flipping it over at that point. You see that?
Now, you should read this. It's very important. It's boring to read all of this. I've gone through book after document, sucking it all in, absorbing it, getting the picture. And I keep coming up with, and you should too, look for your inheritance. In today's laws, you'll find in, say, Amjor 2D, you'll read a sentence and you go, I don't get this, I don't understand it. Well, that's not talking about you. Guaranteed. When you understand the trust and the estate, then you can go and read something in Amjor and you will find yourself segregating everything because it has been commingled. Everything has been commingled, which is a no-no in trusts. Okay? Now, back to this. On the next page, which would be 6, okay? And please don't laugh. There is a circular object. This is the seal of the Magna Carta, okay? I said not laugh. Okay, that was you, wasn't it? I know. Okay, now you will notice in here. Let's see, where do I find to the journal? Okay, to the journal published by their order. Now we're talking about the Founding Fathers and their first journal of Congress. Okay. To the journal published by their order and verified by the autograph of their secretary is prefixed in the title page a medallion of which the following is a facsimile. The medallion is the Magna Carta, the seal of Magna Carta on the first journal of Congress. The Magna Carta of England was the pedestal on which the column and cap of liberty was raised, supported by the 12 colonies assembled by their delegates, declaring, on this we rely, on this we shall defend. They are defending their inherent liberties as enumerated in the Magna Carta.
Now, that's what fighting for your right coming from. That's where that comes from. The fight, you can never be defeated fighting for God-given rights. The people today are fighting for the right to carry a gun to go hunt or some shit. But it's all in they've been tricked by the Catholic Church and this American flag incorporated status of American freedom. The real fight for your right comes from the Magna Carta. You will give your life and future generations, nigga. This is like Braveheart for this land. And I'm proud to be an American, or at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget that's where this whole thing comes from. Magna Carta.
Written this was already written, but they were defending the Magna Carta because the Magna Carta is in here. You don't see it, but it's in there. They were defending it. They brought it down forward and they were passing it on in the preamble. They created an estate of liberty, and it's sitting there in the preamble. Your liberty is an estate. There is page 10, second underlined section.
Your estate, the liberty comes with the estate. The estate comes with the liberty as man comes with the land, and vice versa. You got to understand that.
I underline everything. It's for my posterity to find.
You got to remember, banking.
Page 10, it says,
This is
now we're
Canaan law was to run in reverse to law of the land. This is who's trying to get control of you.
still discussing the Constitution by Mr. Baldwin. And he says that the Constitution, the intent by the framer was to endure for ages to come and designed to approach immortality. Now, it truly is. This is the finest document in the world. It is beautiful once you get to see the picture of it all. What the Founding Fathers left us was the finest estate in trust
There it is.
that this world has ever known.
Now, she wasn't even.
And through guile practices,
Through God. Yeah.
we, the heirs of freedom, have literally had our estate stolen from us.
Not like this. Not like this.
Now, as a black American, you say, what the fuck is this white lady talking about? Oh, no, she's talking for you. Because you had your estate stolen from you. And instead of, griping about it and stuff like that, you have to become like her and say, wait a minute. Now, she's a 14th Amendment citizen. She don't want to be that no more. She said, wait a minute, I don't want to be that. I'm thinking now, the real power comes with the heirs of freedom. Oh, shit. How do we get this? Well, you have to say that. We've had our estate stolen from us. How has your estate been stolen from you, ma'am? And you just been sitting up here saying you're a 14th Amendment citizen. And then the greatest document was the Constitution. Now the greatest document is the Magna Carta, which supersedes the Constitution. This is where these people kind of grafted this Constitution into them receiving a minor estate. The Constitution is, in fact, a minor contract, a minor estate. And she's saying that. And it's true. But there's a deadline to that contract. Shit.
Our inheritance, our liberty. It is an estate.
But I thought y'all fought to get free from King George and the Magna Carta. You see? This is the problem they having. Y'all Americans. Remember y'all fought against King George? Yeah, so why are you trying to up him now and you want King George? Don't you understand that? That doesn't make sense in your time, your recollection of your separation from King George, and they were too much, and the Boston Tea Party, and nigga, we fighting back, and the British is coming. Now you want British law? That doesn't make sense. Unless you know who you are in this situation and what's truly transpiring legally.
Now, over on the right, you will see that the Constitution is a grant.
Look,
Trusts.
It's a grant.
Grants and trusts go in the same hand.
No, a grant and a trust is different, but a grant is like you could use. It's a statute of use, just like old boy said in the law of redemption. It's a statute of uses. You can use this land. It's more like a lease until the Jubilee and come back, and you either pay for the remainder use of the land, and we renew this contract, or not. But if the original contract was fraudulent, J.P. Morgan, blah, 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 then you have that. But this is still great to discuss.
They're hand in hand. A grant creates trust. It creates a use. Okay? Let's see if there's the grant does not convey power which might be beneficial to the grantor if retained by himself, or which can move solely to the benefit of the grantee. Okay, the government says well, this is a grant, they granted us power. Yes, we did. The people, the founding fathers granted them power.
She not even making sense because she don't know what the fuck going on. She ain't even making no sense no more.
But the power that was granted was for them to work in a corporate structure and applied only to things that they owned.
Press 1. Now, wait a minute. They were never to become citizens. Say it again, my white friend. Say it again. This where Deb was. Y'all pay attention.
The grantee. Okay. The government says, well, this is a grant. They granted us power.
They
Yes, we did.
A little bit.
The people, the founding fathers.
What kind of power did they grant them? The power to come over here and own them little things they had on them boats. What did they come over here with and operate in their corporate capacity? You can keep track on them and you have them operate. Because remember, they got to pay that loan back. But we'll get to that.
Granted them power. But the power that was granted was for them to work in a corporate structure and applied only to things that they owned.
So they have to work what? In their corporate structure, in their corporate status. They have to be straw men, bro. Do you understand what I'm saying? They can't be a real person, which is why they have to tether. They can't be real here. They can only work and be in their corporate capacity, which is dead. We'll get to you in a second.
Or that which was ceded to them or granted to them. So under their corporate structure, they had to own it, have it ceded to them, or have it granted to them.
Now, when they own it, could they come over here and own anything? No. There's laws, and the land cannot be alienated. So they can only own what they come here with. Or what was granted to them by way of what? Charitable trust. 5013C.
And that's how the corporation worked. It worked on those things. Only those things.
That's it. Only those things. That's it. They
Down
can
at the
never
bottom,
know
you
that
see,
they switch places with us. They're
words,
dead.
Things written on there. This gentleman is beautiful. I mean, he so defines it. Constitution creates things, not names. We're going to be constantly looking for the thing that it creates. Okay? In the preamble, the thing is the estate. There are no names there. It's a thing.
Because that's because you're not under the Constitution. You're under the Magna Carta. They can only be what? Things. That makes sense why commercial law is dealing with the trafficking of cargo and labeling people as things. Cargo. Objects.
Okay, page 24. Now, in this paragraph that I have marked, Mr. Baldwin starts to discuss, no, it's the second paragraph down. States, inherent rights, okay? This is the essence of supreme and sovereign power, which testifies that the ultimate absolute sovereignty is in the several states and the people thereof, who can do by inherent right and power anything in relation to the Constitution or change of government.
Do you hear that? You didn't hear that. I don't know what y'all after, but I see glory to God.
And the people thereof, who can do by inherent right and power any states, inherent rights, okay? This is the essence of supreme and sovereign power, which testifies that the ultimate absolute sovereignty is in the several states and the people thereof, who can do by inherent right and power anything in relation to the Constitution or change of government, except depriving the smallest state of equal suffrage in the Senate. Not in the United States or the people thereof as one nation or one people, who in their unity of character or power can do nothing either by inherent right or representation as a majority.
Wow. Wow.
Inherent rights of the people of the states.
They said it can't even.
Not the people of the United States
of America. The people of the state, the estate, Georgia's people, the original. So look at her face. I want you to look at her face. That she don't want to be no citizen. Oh, damn it. Look at her face. That's supposed to be your face. Wait a minute. We were duped. She's saying, wait a minute. The real power ain't in, the real freedom ain't being a free American. We was the 14th Amendment. Oh, the real power's in. Yes, they not woke yet. No, they sleep. So we can be, okay, so we would just go back and we would just say we're that. You wouldn't, in the words of Steve Coakley, there will be no need to do that if that's who you already are. You got me? They're not that. And look at her face. She's letting you know this is a trick. Not a trick for them because they came over in the 1900s. But they really want to be backdated. Really want to be backdated.
But the people of the states, who are the people of the United States?
Go ahead.
They are 14th Amendment citizens.
Go ahead.
14th Amendment citizens.
USA. 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 Them. Candace Owens and them.
Have no inherent rights.
Let's say it again.
14th Amendment citizens have no inherent rights.
Say it again.
Thereof as one nation or one people,
You got.
who in their unity of
Man in the
character
High
or
Castle.
power can do nothing either by inherent right or representation as a majority. Inherent rights of the people of the states, not the people of the United States, but the people of the states. Who are the people of the United States? They are 14th Amendment citizens.
That's white people and black
14th
people.
Amendment citizens
Have no what?
have no inherent right.
Because they're all foreigners. They're all Moors. And they're all dead. Black in law. Statusless. Only status you got is to repay back this loan from the king's perspective.
Only the people of the state.
Now, who the fuck is that if white people ain't the people of the... How the white person... I'm speaking for black people. What the fuck I thought she was a person of the state as a 14th Amendment citizen. She's a 14th Amendment citizen. She's for USA. Well, ain't that America? Depends on how you look at it. In your head, is it America? Let's go.
The several states. God bless you, Mr. Baldwin. You're lovely. The features of the British and federal
This is too
governments
good.
compared. Okay, down by the little arrows. The powers not delegated or prohibited being reserved to the states respectively or the people, none can exist by prerogative or inherent power in any branch of the government.
Uh-oh. Say what?
Hence,
But they can't do what? Okay, then.
the effect of a specification of the powers granted and prohibited and the express reservation of all others leaves to the states all the prerogative powers of the king over those subjects which are involved in these four cases, the ones that Mr. Baldwin was talking about, or going to be looking at, either directly or collaterally, on none of which any powers granted to the United States by this Constitution. Then he goes into charters of incorporation, franchises over public rivers, etc., etc. Now then he goes into descent, okay, and he says that the king of England we're discussing is a natural person on whom the crown descends by hereditary right.
Now stop. That's the golden child right there. Let's go back. That's Deb. Here go Deb calling in right now. Press 1. I'm going to let Deb in on this conversation as of right now. Hold on for me, Deb, because I just brought you up. And it's important because you actually brought this up yesterday. So welcome to the show. Deb from Florida, you on the air. What up? Are you there? Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead, Deb.
I just couldn't hear you. Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Okay. I had sent you the preamble with some drawings on it, where I had on your phone, on your text message.
I got it. Let me bring that up for the class. Thank you.
Okay. It just kept spinning in a little circle when I would try to send it any other way. So I guess this is the way.
Yeah, that's right. Just the way to get it. So you circled how to perceive what she is saying concerning the preamble and kind of filled in what it looks like is some filler for black folk and regular folk. Just any folk can kind of understand it in its very own way. Let me bring this up real quick. All right, go ahead. You good.
All right. Up here, the preamble says, "We the people of the United States," and she has written in small writing, "inherited right." The inherited right she is talking about is attached to the land.
That's right.
And A is the majority of the people that wrote this contract, or let's say they conveyed to themselves what they thought would be an inheritable treasure.
Right. But what did they inherit? Go ahead, Deb. Go ahead.
Pain and misery and separation from God.
Go ahead.
That's what I see as the family inheritance.
Yeah, but they were trying to inherit the kingdom and end up embarrassing themselves in the end. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And blackacre is a word used in law to connotate a square of property that you don't really want or need to name.
Ah, okay.
And blackacre is attached to the right. They call a green acre maybe one with trees on it. You know, they use different
okay,
colors.
I got you.
So using the color of law, we got slipped right through the cracks.
Right.
The A, the we, the people, goes back to the majority rule, the mob rule. They took a
So
godly
this is really
thing.
the Articles of Confederation.
Yes, they took an.
Go
yeah.
ahead.
I knew it a year ago, and I could not say it.
Go ahead.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union and otherwise they're unionized labor workers.
There you go, the IWW. We're back at, oh my goodness. Go ahead. I feel good.
The Wobblies
The Wobblies.
attached to the International Workmen's of the World. And they sometimes call themselves the International Worldwide Workmen. And they sometimes call them, World War One.
Yes.
Because they brought on the pain. And I hate that I have a smile on my face, but I'm so grateful to God that I have a voice.
Yes, ma'am.
And that I can see that there is a way up out of this. When they are establishing justice, ensuring domestic tranquility. In other words, we're not going to have to kill them off forever. We're going to get them under subjugation.
There you go.
Under prescription
Go ahead.
of law, and the law being a civil law, not a common law, a civil law which came in with canon. Law, which is a backwriting in history.
That's right.
They want you to blink your eyes for Disney and just get dizzy and not be able to understand that you have been usurped, taken up out of your position. And until you realize that you have been usurped, you won't be able to sit next to God. You just won't be clean enough. The only answer is for the waking up of God's people. The sheep will hear his voice. This is a theft, and this is in writing. She is laying it all out. It was written before she was born.
That's right.
It is written.
So, so we thinking the Constitution is the freedom the whole time. From different from our perspective, like, oh, this is how America was formed. They did the slaves, but then come to find out, this was the real Articles of Confederation. This is when they really started mending the powers and the control of the Magna Carta, the true heirs, the true rights, and start stripping them of their nobility, their names, and bringing them into what you just called Canaan law, which is in total opposition to the laws of Moses. It is actually the laws of Satan. Go ahead.
Yes, the Solomon's Temple.
Bingo.
The going around Jacob's ladder to get to your shining seat, going around it to be sitting with gold, to be pure, to be holy. It doesn't work. And it's so involved with the Masonic temple worship and the Eastern stars. That woman's an Eastern star.
Of course.
I mean, she just like line up with my family pictures. I don't know who those people are, but they say that I'm blood of them.
Yes.
And it's like,
I know. I get exactly what you mean. Oh, so changing up the wording. You kind of gotta listen to them. So as she's breaking this down, she's also like explaining it in a theft. We have to switch positions with them again, kind of thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, it says to ensure domestic tranquility. Right there, that comes into the humanitarian and bringing in the Army of the Frontier. The Army of the Frontier is what's going on out in the Louisiana Purchase before they decided to do rectangular surveying of all property.
Go ahead. And then seizing all property by way of the federal government, seizing all mines and resources, and stealing it for foreign nations. Go ahead. Having it become under the control of foreign dead corporations, 501(c)(3)s by way of, what did they say? Charitable gifts.
Red Truck. Yeah, the charitable uses,
Yes, charitable
saying
uses.
that it's for the people's good.
Yes.
We got the word, it's a good, and it's a little bit removed from a God.
There it is. There
But
it is.
then-
Now there it is again. More Canaan law. More taking our things and making it an item.
Yes,
Go
label.
ahead.
To label. provide for the common defense. Well, we weren't needing any common defense before these people came and tried to usurp us. You know, there was peace and tranquility in George Washington Gillespie's world. This was an invasion. This was a war. This is a lineage stolen, a legacy stolen, and that should be the
Land
renaming
stolen.
of her tape.
And you said that should be the what?
Yeah. Renaming of her video.
What is it?
Legacy stolen.
Yeah,
It
because they
says
said
it's
legacy
legacy.
abandoned.
Yeah.
As if it was
Yeah, and
abandoned.
it wasn't
but
abandoned.
that's right. That's right. You're absolutely right. And I appreciate you so much. Anything else?
I could finish reading the second part of it there.
Go ahead.
And secure the blessings of liberty, which is Blackacre, which is the inheritance attached to the land. The liberty is to work, ma'am, to ourselves and our posterity. She's put it into a fee simple absolute.
Yes.
B, for B and his heirs. This is in small writing underneath of the large writing. I put it in red so to be a little easier to read. To ordain and establish, which means to grant this Constitution for the United States of America.
So they granted to themselves, as it says.
Yeah.
Got you. Stolen
Yes,
from the
and-
republic and granted into the democracy of mob rule and all of these other things. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. The 5013C world, the 50C31 world, and there's many of those numbers. There's 5014. There's many,
Yes.
many a
Yes.
quagmire of humanitarian uses, foundations, trusts, shell games. That's what they are. They're called shell games. And they use the corporation and change
Shell
the name,
companies.
change the lettering.
Shell companies.
Yes, sir.
Like Disney got
Yes,
his
sir.
break in shell companies, which did
Yes,
what?
sir. And his
Stole the land illegally from people who didn't know these were international companies and corporations buying up the land.
Right. And if you didn't go along to get along, you were gone. You were mainly flushed out with the flood first.
That's right.
Put into peace, put into poverty, put into situations where if you signed up for war, your family would be left with some kind of benny.
That's
was
where,
it in my
but that goes
family.
into the freedmen banks, and they went up. If you signed up to work in war, and then all the money you earned to be put, you funded your whole overthrow. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And I see that as the interest on the loans
Oh
was
my
us gambling.
goodness! So they
This
went
is not
from
God's
owing
goal.
these people from the initial loan to making them work free, work it off, and pay back to loan and their future generations in debt.
Yes, sir.
Glory to God.
The solution is in God's hands. He's brought you here to clear it up for the common man.
That's right.
So that we can go back to common law, so that we can use common law faithfully and truly, knowing that it is the divine right of the inheritance of Jesus Christ to come and know that only through God can I speak today on Kev Rowe's show.
Thank you, young lady.
Only through God. And I'll be in the back, and thank you,
Yes,
class,
ma'am.
for my opinions.
Thank
Goodbye.
you so much. And of course, many more days to come. Thank you, Deb.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I love every bit of it. So to have her break that down and give it to you in that way where you can see what she's saying, what we the people, because when you're reading it in Bogart's trust and law books, you're going to see A, B, G, and not know what you're looking at. You're going to see Blackacre, the conveyance of Blackacre, and all of that. So what did she say? It's in black and white. It's already written. They put their acts in criminal Canaan law, which is against the law. Canaan law is against the law on the land, but they place their genocide and tactics. It's all in Canaan law. So once you got a generalized time frame of when all of this happened, you don't have to live in time immemorial any longer, nor space and time. For all of that is an illusion right now. Right now. Don't worry about nothing else, but right now. That's what's important. When you come to class, make sure you're worrying about right now. Not way back, right now. How is these laws affecting us today? Are they running off of the Magna Carta or what? And you come to find out, yes, they are. Let's continue to listen for a little longer, and then I'll shut it down and get ready for a beautiful, beautiful week of number 2 and 3 and 4 of this video. Let's continue on.
This here is to come to us by descent and distribution. Okay, it descends upon the air.
See?
You don't choose it. It just comes to you. It's yours.
Now,
it
in the Bible, in the Bible, you see how this is the sign. They don't understand religious or spirituality. The air, the dove descends on the air, naming the Christ. The star is the signal. You see the difference between scripture and their make-believe wonderland concept of what they thought they knew. And that's the important part, is they were trying to get it right based on what they seen and didn't understand it in reality.
They drop it on you, it falls upon you.
Yes.
It devolves. We got to try to keep this simple. On page 56, Mr. Baldwin says, in other respects, the great features of both governments are the same. Both established by the people of the estates, E-S-T-A-T-E-S, of one, the states of the other. Each state or estate represented by their representatives in distinct bodies. Okay. Estates and state. Could the state of California be the estate
of Gillespie? Let me shut her the fuck up. Could the estate of California, where all the gold be the estate of George Washington Gillespie? Could it be an estate? And that's your job here. We're going to prove that George Washington Gillespie is the founding father. That's what we're doing. And we're going to break down how they were able to steal this whole estate, make up a federal lapse in time, creating a false storyline. And we're going to prove it. Whether you believe it or not, that's what we're doing here. Is we're going to prove that George Washington Gillespie, Google him, is the founding father, and he is, in fact, a black man. And we're going to prove that the Gillespies had this, and this, and this, and here are the graves, and here it is, and here it is. And we're going to actually have these conversations. I'm already having them. And how we're going to break this down, and everybody's going to get a different sector or Gillespie to put in time and place. This is actually the study of Gillespie. Yes. No, don't be mad. Don't be mad because it ain't the study of you. No. We all here. Could this be a trust, a George Washington trust? And if it is, if George Washington was black, wouldn't you want to know that? Shouldn't you know, especially if he gave the whole estate as beneficiary to you to protect you from greedy, false Catholic, foreign banks and corporations and immigrants and things? Wouldn't he do that? So why you bent up on Abraham Africanus Lincoln, who traded you for a penny, when you should be worried about if George Washington is actually King George in his correct status and founded this nation? That's more important to me. And I believe that George Washington Gillespie is one of the founding fathers of what you are calling USA. Incorporated?
Of California?
Damn, that's good.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Look.
Now we are going to stop and we're going to look for a definition.
Listen to her. She did the work already.
Of a state. A state. In Noah Webster's Dictionary of 1829, number 1, in a general sense, fixedness, a fixed condition, now generally written and pronounced S-T-A-T-E.
But what is it? It's an estate, bro.
And number 6, the general business or interest of government, hence a political body, a commonwealth, a republic. But in this sense, we now use S-T-A-T-E.
Wow. Now you go to get a better sense of what a republic is, family. Damn.
So here we have 13 colonies.
Ooh, I feel good.
Who are going to be, who are 13 estates.
Wow.
Creating a document.
Wow. Do you see it now? So you got the Gillespies. What other 12 names? Do you see 12 or 13 and adopted? You ever read that book, The 13th Tribe, the Khazarian Jews? Could there have been an adopted? Let's continue on.
Of estates, for the people of the estates.
Wow.
And when I say the word state from now on, it is going to mean to you estate, even if it's a capital S as compared to a small s, because there are separate estates.
Bingo. One has to be laundered from the other. And the the Constitution created the separate estate. From where? From the Magna. Well, there will be no need to do that if you fought for your revolutionary right to get away from the king anyway of Britain. So why are you mimicking and copying its law and trying to adopt its heirship if that's who you fought to get away from? It's not making sense no more. This is good.
State to be a corporate function.
Listen, to be a corporate.
In Mortmain.
Told you to be a corporate function in Mortmain. The separate estate was created to be a corporate function in Mortmain, a dead state. A dead state. Only to work and pay back the loan of what? It's not even a real state. It was all by way of contract. So the Moors signed a peace treaty deal with who? To do what? Work. Let me hit the button. Fucking assholes. You're not, you don't have any jurisdiction for nothing. You barely got a place to lay your head. You're not a nation. You're a dead state and you're black. So carry on, foreigner. See? It's easy for me. Total destruction. See, I'm like the Crip Mac of the conscious community. And he said Hoover destruction. Fucking Crip. Fucking Crip Mac. It's total Pan-African destruction. 55th Street. Destroying them. It's that easy. I separated them from us. Easy. Wheat and tares. Easy. Death from life, nigga. God from science. Clown. You feel me? Hit that like button and subscribe. This lady is doing the work. How she know? She a Moor too.
In reality, I perceive the capital S state to be a corporate function.
Come on.
In Mortmain.
That's what you signed. That's what y'all signed up to be. Oh my goodness. To be. Your only legal status is by way of making friends with people under the sea. Go ahead. A dead state.
Perceived. Oh, now we can go back. Okay.
You just can work.
Okay,
Fuck
page
up.
58, we go into the estates again. And Mr. Baldwin he goes into the estates of England, who they were, what their function was. And down at the marked section, the lords represented the two estates of the nobility and clergy.
Uh-oh.
Okay, page 58.
Uh-oh. They had found them and said, oh, this what Lord mean? Oh, my goodness. Oh.
They sat in their own right, representing themselves and property as two estates.
They sat in their own right, champion.
Or states of the nation or realm, wholly distinct from the third estate or state.
Damn.
That estate was the whole body of the people, represented in the convention of the commons. As there was no king, there could be no parliament or house of commons in any other capacity than in convention. Pardon me. This was at the time when the throne was abdicated. Life went on as normal.
Look.
In England, the representatives still met. They still passed laws. They did everything they were supposed to do until the crown was placed upon another body, human entity. So at this point in our time, you can guarantee that our crown has been abdicated, or they are trying to abdicate the throne by getting rid of the sovereign state citizens as we know them and making everybody into a United States citizen who has no inherent power.
And what's going to happen in the end of that world is it will be given back into the hand of the sovereign. The sovereign. They had no idea when she was making this video how this was going to play out.
The state citizen has it, not the United States citizen. So how do you gain the power? You get rid of the state citizen. This is genocide.
Listen.
This is absolute genocide.
Listen. Let's go back. What did she just say? It's very important. Listen,
They were supposed to do until the crown was placed upon another body, human entity. So at this point in our time, you can guarantee that our crown has been abdicated, or they are trying to abdicate the throne by getting rid of the sovereign state citizens as we know them.
Listen.
And making everybody into a United States citizen who has no inherent power. The state citizen has it, not the United States citizen.
And then genocide, that's genocide.
So how do you gain the power? You get rid of the state citizen.
Boom.
This is genocide.
Genocide.
This is absolute genocide.
Come on. Tell them.
Now you can all say they're genociding me, and you know that they are.
Look, Tether. Now
they have.
Look.
Whoever they are.
Look. You.
We're going to come to find out that you yourself is genociding yourself.
Tether.
Or have genocided yourself.
Shit.
But you were forced to.
Look. To become a citizen.
To have this estate has either become illegal or it is null and void.
She told you. To even have that estate is illegal or null and void. You're dealing with the end of America, bro. If an heir was to ever be named, or these people were to ever wake up and identify, wait a minute, whose shit is this? Wait a minute. That's why they put all these groups out here to throw you off religiously, to remove your name, to get you caught up in federal things that you're going to prison. Because these niggas ain't nothing but clowns. The real heir, the real property belongs to the sovereign, who is the trustee for the individuals and the people of the land. That's what happens here. Y'all gave y'all crown to a mechanical mother and father.
According to law. Not moral law, but according to written law. Now, okay, do we all get what an estate is as far, I mean, superficially that we're discussing estates? Okay, and we all agree that we have an estate. Now we're going to find out what an estate is and what it looks like.
What page are you on, Dan?
We're going to go to An Introduction to the Law of Real Property. This is an excellent little book. This is the little book. It's a little book. It's lovely. It's beautiful. Cornelius J. Moynihan. Now, what does an estate look like? What is an estate? Page 28, Chapter 2, Freehold Estates. Sounds good to me. Freehold. Holding it freely. It's free.
Not like this. Not like this.
Did y'all hear what she said? Yo, listen, this motherfucker's a freehold in this day. What that is? Free, nigga. That's what that is. Could you say homestead? Could you call it? You could see it coming in. It's free, bro. Now, after all of this free stuff that you got, you don't want it no more? Why? Because you're a 14th Amendment citizen? Wow. Go give it back. Go give it back. Just give it back. Damn.
And you will go to the underline and mark spots. Okay, and okay. The word estate is a feudal origin and is derived from the Latin word status.
Wow.
Please send us your Social Security number so we might know your status.
Wow. So estate and status. Estate was...
What your estate is.
Never mind. What is your estate? So they're still in your estate.
It speaks to us of time.
So when they changing your status, they're still in your estate. They're changing your status, but they're still in your estate. Wow. That's why you got to watch these niggas putting X's by your names and mores and changing your sovereignty and all of that. They trying to tether themselves to you. It's a mooring system by way of paperwork to get you involved with them by some allegorical lawful pretext. This is nonsense.
When land holding was inseparably connected with a man's political and personal status in the community. I say that it is still connected.
Very much so. Absolutely.
The next paragraph. The estate in fee simple is of potentially infinite duration.
It's forever.
A life estate, or estate for years, is a finite duration.
That's right.
Life estate,
Terms and conditions.
freehold, fee simple. Okay? These are two different types of estates. We have the fee simple absolute is one type, life estate is another. On the other page, an estate in fee simple was and still is the largest estate known to law. It donates the maximum of legal ownership, the greatest possible aggregate of rights, powers, privileges, and immunities which a person may have in land.
Wow.
Now, when it comes to your rights,
Wow, it's
okay,
all
when
tethered.
it says may have in land, all of your rights as a human being attached to the land or the estate you are in possession of. Okay? You might not own any land, but there is an estate and your rights attach to that particular estate. This estate here was a fee simple absolute. Is a fee simple absolute. Okay. Littleton, in his famous treatise of tenures written in the 15th century, began his book by defining the estate thus. tenant in fee simple is he which hath lands or tenements to hold to him and his heirs forever. This definition
In dead hands. That's where it comes from. Press 1.
is still valid.
You ever heard that song? He got the whole world in his hands. This is where it come from. Just because you sing a song, think it's about God. The God that you think you serve don't or didn't write that song. He got the brothers and the sister that come from this. In his hands, it's all gripped. In his hands. All of his heirs forever is protected by this. Sovereigns forever. All of his families are royal forever. All children born under them forever. They have the biggest estate on earth. Do you understand why they illegally done this? It has the biggest, it's bigger than the Pope. It's bigger than anything. You will go from a status from, I thought we were just niggas, to, oh my goodness. That is what I'm talking about. That's what they did. That's what happened to them. The reason why you hold people, other nations up, they pretend to be you here getting granted. All this system is built off of you not knowing who you are. For if you was to come, all the hoses out your back, all the leeches would be thrown off. Because you want your freedom. You'll want your sovereignty. You'll want your land. You'll want what's owed to you within the estate. You don't know nothing right now. You're a 14th Amendment state non-inheritable. You don't identify yourself as black with them because they get loans and make it look good. You get it?
Now, do you notice right there where it says to hold to him and his heirs forever? This is very important. Just those words. Okay? To him and his heirs forever.
No 14th Amendment citizen, Moors. This is very specific. Very specific.
On the next page, you will see the statute of uses brought into our line of thought and estate.
So their statute of uses is how do you...
And down at the bottom, you'll see that...
How do you get it out of their hands?
The law of real property of today is result of the application of both common law and equitable doctrines, and it was by means of this institution of uses that equity came into contact with the land law. Now we have, it's melding, okay, it's coming together. The statute of uses creating a trust now connects to the land.
Look, you see? Boom. They're able to establish themselves and say, oh shit. Now it connects to the land. The only thing we got to do is remove them. That statute of uses and charitable trusts is all connected. This is all after the death of the king. This is after the death of the president or whatever you want to count, the founding father, whatever.
Okay, it comes together. The beneficial enjoyment, like I said, the trust was for your use. A trust is for your use, your beneficial enjoyment. Your enjoyment, period. On page 219, let's skip that page. We'll go to the survey of law of property, okay? Because this is where we're going to see the trust or the estate in the preamble. And I wish this was a little clearer copy for you. I must apologize. Down in the paragraph that I start underlining. Now, in law, when you have an object to convey, they don't use the person's name. Okay? It's A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z represent a person. A human being.
Wow.
Black acre or white acre or green acre.
So it's syntax.
Some sort of acre.
Look.
Represents the object they are conveying.
Wow.
Okay?
Listen.
So if I say A conveys Blackacre to B, I'm A, you're B. This is Blackacre. Okay, now we know that we're talking about people, who I am, who you are, and what I convey. A conveys. So in the paragraph below, okay, we're conveying a fee simple absolute in this paragraph. It was an estate in fee simple, which is the largest estate known to law. It donates the maximum of legal ownership, the greatest possible aggregate of rights,
Wow.
privileges, and powers and immunities. Again, we have said we go to rights. Okay, we're conveying rights. Everything is in the estate. Privileges, powers, and immunities which
All
a
over to them.
person may have in land. Again, it attaches to the land. It is not separate from.
Do you see that? They're switching from that to mean all of it is a charitable use. So it donated all of right over to foreigners? Well, if you can see it, yes.
It is of potentially infinite duration. By the year 1250, the words "and his heirs" had become the only ones by which a fee simple could be conveyed.
Bingo.
The word "be" and his heirs meant be in fee simple without any qualification whatsoever.
He don't even need no qualification.
But the words "be" in fee simple used in a deed would give "be" only a life estate. Okay? The words in the deed had to be "be and his heirs." The words "and his heirs" used in a deed were construed as words of limitation. Limitation? Say what? Wrong. That is, they describe the quantum or size of the estate transferred to be. The size. It wasn't a restriction, a limitation was not the restriction, it was the size of the estate. Strange as it may seem, the word limitation is contrary to what you think it should be. It's the size. The words of limitation indicate what is taken. Words of purchase indicate the grantees or persons who take it. We must be very clear.
Listen to this.
Okay, when you name somebody, now we are saying something about words of purchase. Okay, if I were to say A conveys Blackacre to B and his heirs and his son John, we just limited the size of the
Because it goes to John. And so we can't name an heir. Because if we name an heir, it'll limit our thing. So the thing is, we can't name them. Keep them dumb. That way there's no limits to our misdeeds if they're not even aware that misdeeds are even going on, that they're even empowered to even say this. I have no idea what Benjamin in my chat room is talking about real property rights, but Benjamin ain't called in so long, and I told Benjamin, don't even begin to get familiar with chat again until you learn how to call it in and be a speaker. Don't be in this mug just typing things to fit in. Benjamin has to call it in or he can't type, period. And Brittany 7 has to go. She tried to destroy my whole building network. Get that shit up out of here too. This person here don't deserve to even be around Kevin Gillespie, bro. Get this person out of here too. Thank you. That person will take away everything that we worked so hard for. So don't even begin to play. I got great support. I got great team. I don't need that type of stuff of distraction. And anybody willing to try to take Kev Gill's out his own channel and try to destroy his reputation on Instagram, on YouTube, or anywhere else, and you don't even know me, you don't deserve to be even in my chat room fooling around, trying to mingle in. You don't even know I know the people you coming against, but that's you. Because y'all, I don't know what's wrong with y'all people in the world, but y'all don't deserve to even be in my chat room, let alone be around me. Okay? So please, this cool in your world, but I don't want to see that name around floating around nowhere around here. One of the biggest contributors on this page is contributing to knock Kev down, trying to get Kev knocked down and thrown off the internet, and just wild things. For what? I don't do bad things. So y'all cause unnecessary stress. Y'all be the first ones trying to get a nigga arrested. Your nigga go to jail. Miss D, I never fuck with you. Ever. Don't even pretend. Don't even come against women trying to stop Kev from doing nothing. Don't you come back over here. Period. I just want to make that clear. That's a public service announcement. Don't you bring your funny looking ass back over here. I'm back to the regularly scheduled program.
State, we made it smaller. When you name the air, it lessens it.
When you name the air, it lessens it. Why? Because that person has full control to do what he or he will with the will that is subjugated to him that you're stealing from. So if you name them, they won't come. What you got to do is steal it from them, cipher it off by charitable uses.
That is why
and take it straight from the trust into JP Morgan Trust and distribute it this way. Do you understand what I'm saying? We not on no damn Titanic. We not in your brain. We right here. Foundation solid, more solid than it's ever been.
Air is not mentioned in the preamble.
You see? They stole it right here.
We the people, A, convey Blackacre for a more perfect union, establish justice to ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense,
yes,
promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty. This is Blackacre.
This is where you
this
get...
This is the estate.
This is the estate. Liberty bonds,
the estate.
Statue of Liberty. This is where all this shit come from. This is your down. This is the overthrow of the estate. This is the minor estate ciphering money. We did it. We did it, y'all.
A conveys Blackacre to B and his heirs. Right there is the estate.
So they're giving it, passing
Do
it
you
on
see it?
in a
Do you
dead
get it?
state to some foreigners.
A
And they've written
conveys
it
Blackacre
in
to B and
syntax.
his heirs. It's sitting right
Canon
there.
law. It's just sitting right there. Look.
Have you ever seen it? Did you ever see it before? No, you've never seen it before. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's an estate. It's an estate being conveyed. It is a fee simple absolute.
An absolute estate.
A freehold.
Coffee and Kush, Cavro University. You on the air. What's your name and where you calling from?
Man, it's Rico, champ. I'm calling back, man. I gotta come with it.
What up?
Man.
What you mean? What happened?
Man, coming with the information, man. Speaking on just what you're speaking about.
What?
How they made a set to QB trust in the Constitution, and then when they put it to the minor estate with the Social Security Act and 14th Amendment, they made a second set to QB trust. We was just talking about that yesterday. So it's a couple of things that, man, some great notes I want to bring in.
Go ahead.
Right, exactly what you're talking about. Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead.
So hold on one second. Hold on, bring it up right here.
I'm glad you
Yes,
called
sir.
in because I have a wiener schnitzel on my chili fries and corn dogs on the way. So it'll give me time to eat lunch.
Man.
And if anybody want to support this broadcast, go to my Cash App. My cash tag is Gills Gang. We're going to finish this up. Go ahead and take it away, Rico.
I'm going to start out right here in the Sister QB Trust.
Go ahead.
Canon 1283. A Sister QB Trust, and we spoke about this before, a Sister QB Trust is a fictional concept first created during the reign of Charles II of England through the Sister QB Trust Act of 1666, wherein an estate may be affected and I'm gonna read the definition of effect, which is to make, which is it's the root word is to make. For the benefit, which is benefit is going to be the root word is to use. So they made a use out of the SESQV trust.
So they made a separate SESQV, a separate corporation, a separate. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. And for the benefit of a person presumed lost or abandoned at sea, and therefore assumed dead after 7 years. Additional presumptions by which such a trust may be formed were added in later statutes to include bankrupts, minors, incompetents, mortgages, and private companies. Hence, a SESQV trust is a temporary testamentary trust, which would be the Constitution, which he just spoke of.
Yes.
Which is the Constitution. And so, in my notes, I'm bringing it up right here. Hold on 1 second. Speaking with Theodore Roosevelt and J.P. Morgan right now. Hold on 1 second. And how J.P. Morgan became. This was 1932. Great Britain debt payment made to U.S. Gold bars worth $95 million deep in boats of Bank of England transferred one place to another in transaction. I'm going to read right here. The gold was earmarked as belonging to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. The Bank of England notified the Federal Reserve that it now owned the gold, and it instructed the Federal Reserve to place the amount to the credit of J.P. Morgan and
I told you.
Financial aid. Yes, sir. We got him, champ.
Grover Cleveland. Come on, bro. Go ahead.
Financial agents of the British Treasury. So he became over the British Treasury, which means he's working at simultaneously. Like you said, the trust is under the biggest trust is under Great Britain because United States is a de facto company. It was false from the beginning. False from the beginning. And the Morgan House will pay it to the United States Treasury at once.
Because they just stole it from he's playing a role from Nathaniel P. Banks from the Freeman. They're getting funding from this from the people they're robbing from. They're fraudulently using their name in suffrage, and so they'll never find out. They taint the banks, and then brought up on a whole other side of the place. A new bank and a new deal in the city of London, a new banking. Now we got in our history, motherfucker. Grover Cleveland gave J.P. Morgan the money. Who the fuck are you to be calling us them all? We are now in control of your gold. No, we got you, Grover Cleveland. Go ahead, King.
I'm start off right here. The Trading with the Enemy Act, originally as amended, is strictly a war measure and finds its sanction in the provision empowering Congress to declare war, grant letters of marque and reprisal, and make rules concerning captures on land and water. And that would have been constituted and amended. That was back in 1933.
Yes.
And so me bringing that up is to say that him being the executor and them doing that is exactly took our rights. They were able to take our rights and be able to use the Cypress. They was able to use the put us in dead hands. And it just I'm gonna go right here to Illinois and I'm gonna send you this right here, champ. So I think you might have brought up Gillespie town before and the town of Verdun.
Yes, sir.
But Mr. Gillespie town is the coal mines. When I looked up and we were talking about Mr. Gillespie, Bernard Gillespie, who owned the ones in California and Arizona, his coal mines were some of the biggest ones in the world. And in his town in 1932, some defectors from the United Miners of the World became the Progressive Miners. So, it shows the takeover right at the
they
beginning
took
of
it.
1932.
That's the word. Who did they take it from?
Yes,
the Gillespies, because Joseph Gillespie owned the ones in El Dorado.
Come on, man.
Sent up the river.
Yes, sir. Like you said.
Go ahead, King.
So I'm going to go right here. Upon a person, this back in the SESQV Trust, upon a person fulfilling a requirement, let me say this first. Any administrator or executive who fails to fully disclose an existing SESQV relationship in the likeness or name of a person being offered a benefit before them constitutes a fundamental fraud and a grave breach of duties under all competent forms of trust law, requiring immediate suspension of any offer of benefit, dismissal of the disgraced official,
immediate of anybody who benefited off of it. Go ahead.
man. As soon as they tell it to you, Professor, so it's been going on. Yes, sir. It says right here, Canon 1301, upon a person fulfilling the requirements to reestablish their status and competency, the relevant administrator and executive is duty bound to dissolve the sister QV trust, and it has been proven to have been created on one or more errors of presumption, presuming that he was lost, but he's no longer lost. The advocate is here, and I just want to thank God, just everything that you've been doing and how you've been patient with us, champion. And we're gonna rock one day at a time, one step at a time. I got
Yes,
a
sir.
little more information I want to
Go
bring
ahead.
in.
Go ahead. Bring it to the
Right
forefront,
here.
champ. Go
Yes,
ahead.
sir. Yes, sir. Hold on 1 second. Find it in my notes. And this will be regarding the behalf of the airship and the inheritance and what she's speaking about in the legacy stolen. It is equally established in the state that under the common law, alien, friend, or foe cannot acquire or transmit land by descent. So when they black acred the land to themselves, when they gave them and their posterities the heir, they never even had the right under common law. That's why they changed it to the civil and the canon law and put us under admiralty law. And I believe, like I say, through the war powers that they say derived from.
That's why they had to
1862
make you
with,
that they had to put you legally in a dead state or lost at sea by way of Social Security and
Yes,
birth
sir.
certificate. Guess press one. Go ahead, King.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Because
sir.
they have to make
By the
it
way,
legal, so they presumed you lost at sea. Maybe you died as a Navyman, like the Hellfighters or the early Navymen in the early 1900s who never returned home. Maybe they went to Bermuda Triangle where J.P. Morgan was trafficking our people to North Africa. Who knows? Go ahead, King.
Man, who knows? And when you talk about, and I think about it because when I brought up J.P. Morgan and gold, and we talking about the gold bonds and how names could have been on the gold bonds. You remember you brought up how the gold ships was those was the ones that could have been translated across the seas. They said when he transported the gold from England, he was supposed to transport it from the Bank of England over across the seas to America. And you remember how you brought up the gold that was ended up sunk to the bottom of the ships, to the bottom of the water and stuff like that. When I think about gold bonds and names and us being bonded in stock, just to be able to offset it with the gold, or just just in to say again, they broke down the trust for sure after being able to say the king gave them the Treaty of Peace. So I do understand now what the Treaty of Peace is, and then going back and bringing up the Treaty of Versailles back in 1917, which makes me think again those Liberty bonds. Why would you bring in the Treaty of Peace? Like you said, it's a repetition in time. They're trying to put these mirrors in front of us, but when you remove the time and memorial and you get a good look, straight, yes sir, you're able to see it clear. So I definitely, again, there's a lot of notes I got right here. I just want to step back and let you finish the video again. And, we're going to talk about this in more depth day in, day out, Professor. We working on it.
For sure, King. Thank you for the call, champ.
Yes, sir.
Already.
Who are the heirs? You can't name them. That's why they didn't put, we the people conveyed to ourselves and state citizens. You say, if they... Right there is the estate. Do you see it? Do you get it? Mm-hmm. A conveys Blackacre to B and his heirs. It's sitting right there. Have you ever seen it? Did you ever see it before? No, you've never seen it before. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's an estate. That's right. It's an estate being conveyed. It is a fee simple absolute, a freehold. Who are the heirs? You can't name them. That's why they didn't put, we the people conveyed to ourselves and state citizens. You say, if they said that, it would have diminished not only our estate, but their estate. They were getting a life estate if they did that. They protected themselves, their estate. They protected our estate. It's of indefinite duration. It can last forever. Infinitely, and infinitively, infinitely, right. It's a fee simple absolute. I saw this, and I thought, my God, that's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's right there in front of all of us, and we've never seen it. Never saw it. But why haven't we seen it? Could it be being kept from us?
that's going to end this program. It's time for my lunch. Shout out to the people. I hope y'all took something from this and began to adapt. Get yourself a Black's Law dictionary. Rewind this video. We will continue on with part 2 of 4 first thing in the morning right here, Cairo University. I like to do a few shout outs to those who contributed to this program. After the fact, this is Thomas Watson, Brandon Thomas, TC, Thomas again, RT Bell, Kenton, Pop Deuce, Teresa, GRG, and Deborah Nichols for bringing this program and supporting and sponsoring this program. And tomorrow morning, we'll be back with part 2 of this trust. Hopefully, y'all get familiar with the language. Charitable uses is very important in giving away the estate so that actually is the portal. Shout out to y'all people who actually understand. Love y'all. And as always, family, I'll holla.